अच्छा भाई मैं लाइव कर रहा हूँ।
ठीक है। अभी फिर हम कोई इनफॉर्मल टॉक नहीं करेंगे फिर। ठीक है।
अभी कोई जो भी बात करना है अभी फोन पे कर लेंगे, अभी लाइव कर रहा हूँ मैं।
हाँ, हो गया लाइव।
हाँ जी। अभी मैं लाइव कर रहा हूँ।
ठीक है। अभी फिर हम कोई इनफॉर्मल टॉक नहीं करेंगे फिर।
अरे कुछ ना कुछ काम कर दीजिए बस। ये साउंड के लिए।
Hello, I'm Divya Patel and I welcome you all for the second International 3S Virtual Conference on Sustainability. Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah, Divya, I think we can start. Yes.
Good morning, everyone, and I welcome you all in the second International 3S Virtual Conference. This is our second conference. First conference was a very successful one. This conference is on simplicity, sustainability, and spirituality. We are very excited for this upcoming session. I'm Divya Patel. your moderator chair for this session. This is organized by Institute for Science and Spirituality, scientific wing of ISKCON Delhi. Now I would like to invite Professor Nandita Saikia, who will be the session chair for this first inaugural session. She is a professor at Department of Public Health and Mortality Studies at International Institute for Population Sciences, Mumbai. Ma'am, please take the session. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Divya Patel, for inviting me to chair this first session. Namaskar, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to our international audience. We are very exciting. We are starting a very exciting and much needed 3S conference for the benefit of humanity and for the benefit of the entire planet. This is a conference on simplicity, sustainability, and spirituality. We have eminent speakers. Well, they are not simply eminent speakers. In my knowledge, they are also practitioners of sustainability, simplicity, and spirituality. They will speak a variety of issues like agriculture, homeopathic medicine, health, faith, modern technology, and reusing resources, which is extremely needed for now. But the interesting point is that each of our speakers will have a common thread on this 3S, what we are planning. So we have our eminent speakers also very much well known in their field. Some of them has got Padma Shri and eminent environmental consultant, eminent educationist and researcher. We will come into detail of them slightly later. Before I invite our eminent speakers, I would like to call upon our honorable conference chair, Professor Ramesh Goel, who is a professor at Civil and Environmental Engineering at University of Utah, United States of America. Professor Goel has been doing a lot of excellent research connecting technology and environment, have rich experience of teaching and research. Over to you, Professor Goel.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sakia. Good morning, everyone. As Dr. Sakia mentioned, my name is Ramesh Goel. I'm professor and graduate director in Environmental Sustainability Program at University of Utah, Salt Lake City. Those who don't know Salt Lake City, it's very close to Las Vegas, like 5 hours drive from Las Vegas. So welcome to the conference. As Dr. Sakia mentioned, we have eminent speakers. And first, I would like to tell you a little bit background about the conference. The planning started almost 6 months back with a lot of efforts. You see on screen few people, but then there's a whole lot of a team of people in a media team, advertisement team, and whatnot, abstract review team. A lot of efforts have been put in this conference. So thank you so much for again making it very successful. I see a lot of people online already. We see many conferences around, either they talk about environmental sustainability or they talk about spirituality. But this conference, I find it unique because we are trying to integrate the concept of simplicity, which is in fact integrated in our Vedic wisdom and in our daily lifestyle. Back a few years from now. Now, unfortunately, because of all the modernism or complexity of lifestyle, we are losing that simplicity. So how can we regain that simplicity? And then, and how can we lead and convert that simplicity into environmental sustainability? So the connectivity, the link between simplicity, spirituality, and environmental sustainability is emphasized in this conference repeatedly through various presentations, whether it's related to Ayurveda or related to simple environmental practices, or it is related to, for example, medicine. So with that, I again congratulate you all, the organizer. This conference is being organized at the platform of Institute of Science and Spirituality. And I personally want to express my gratitude to our eminent speaker, Sri Bharat Bhushan Tyagi ji, thank you so much for coming. Without further delay, I would like to invite Mr. Parveen Kumar, who is leading the Institute of Science and Spirituality, and then all conferences are being organized at this platform. So Mr. Parveen Kumar, please say a few words and then introduce us about ISS and enlighten us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Ramesh, and Hare Krishna and Namaskaram to all the participants. A warm welcome to all the dignitaries, eminent speakers, and participants for assembling here in this unique. This is the second, like Professor Ramesh explained, the first conference happened last year, second virtual conference on deliberating on the possible alternative solutions to serious issues related to sustainability. This is unique in the sense that we see conferences happening, trying to find the solutions related to sustainability from various other means, but connecting sustainability with spirituality and also adding the third angle of simplicity is a unique in its own way. In the Atharved, the Vedic seer scientist, Solomon declares the interior filial allegiance of humankind to Mother Earth. We all know that it's a famous shloka from Atharveda, which says, Mata Bhumi, Putro Aham Pitrivaya. It's a unique thing, you will not find this thing in all over the, if you search the world literature. Earth is my mother and I am her son. Vedic tradition counts Earth as one of our 7 mothers. It can be understood that Vedic society was the first environmental protection society in the history of mankind. Environment and human existence, we know, so being fundamental components of the same ecosystem, right? And they are highly intertwined because of their continued interactions. As we stand today in 21st century, mankind is looking back to the ecological imbalance caused by its rapid and complex sociological transformation. We know large-scale urbanization happening, industrialization happening, grounded on, and what is the basis? Basis is greed and short-sightedness. Bhagavad Gita 16th chapter talks about divine and demonic natures. There it talks about, it says in one of the shloka, Ugra karmanaha shaya jagato hitaha. Means Ugra karmana means those activities which are meant to destroy the world. And that basis is how greed can lead to unbeneficial, horrible works, right? So meant to destroy the world. So in our great Vedantic tradition, different components of our ecosystem are attributed with divinity to them. And all living beings, including trees, animals, and even rivers, are said to be carrying the particle of divinity, particle of consciousness. So because of this worldview of everyone is a part of divine and everyone is carrying the particular divinity, a culture of respect and a care was automatically embedded in our system and built into the very fabric of simple lifestyle of the bygone ages. The spiritual culture based on simple lifestyle practices and which is freed from greed was the highly sustainable model of ecological balance. Containing the same tradition, Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, he often emphasized the spiritual value based on simple lifestyle in his teachings. In one of the excerpts in Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 15th chapter, 5th shloka, he mentions that attaining this freedom, freedom here means the freedom from materialistic ideas, and not inventing unnecessary necessities, is the basic principle of Vedic civilization. One should be satisfied with whatever means of life comes automatically. To present the practical models of simple life and high thinking, simple living and high thinking, and spiritual eco-theology, Srila Prabhupada established sustainable farm communities, currently around 40 in number throughout the world, where inhabitants live in complete harmony with the nature and divine without creating any artificial needs based on exploiting the resources of Mother Nature. To propagate similar ideas in the society, Institute for Science and Spirituality was incorporated with the explicit objective of bringing consciousness-based paradigm for deliberating and solving serious issues threatening human existence. To organize an event of this stature, it demands a highly dedicated team of volunteers. I'm very much thankful to our ISS team members and also conference attendees by whose efforts this event has become a success. I hope this humble initiative may create a timely awareness for revisiting our spiritual roots and thereby serving Mother Earth from this imminent environmental crisis. I dedicate this wonderful event to the 125th birth anniversary of Srila Prabhupada, who is the founder Acharya of ISKCON and whose vision of simple living, high thinking we are trying to inculcate. Thank you. Over to Ms. Nandita.
Thank you, Professor Goel and Engineer Praveen Kumarji to set the tune of the conference. Now we have the honor to receive the key speaker of the first session, Mr. Bharat Bhushan Tyagi ji. सभी IIS के तरफ से हम उनको सादर प्रणाम चलाते हैं और वेलकम करते हैं। नमस्कार। मुझे पहले उसके बारे में थोड़ा सा पढ़ना है। So, Padma Shri Bharat Bhushan Tyagi ji is an Indian farmer, educator, trainer from Vita village, Bundelsahar district of Uttar Pradesh, who was awarded Padma Shri, the 4th highest civilian award in India in 2019. He is also a recipient of the Progressive Farmer Award by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Padma Shri Bharat Bhushan Tyagi ji lives Vita village of Bundelsahar district, just 80 kilometers from Delhi, which is in the heartland of Green Revolution of India, has made his mark across the country due to organic farming. His father insisted that he come back to the village after earning BSc degree in Delhi University. He began farming in 1975 using Green Revolution techniques learned from scientists at the research center nearby. Within a decade, he was disillusioned and started looking for alternatives. Tyagi ji has also worked with government organizations like National Center for Organic Farming, International Competence Center for Organic Agriculture, AFC, and National Bank of Agriculture and Rural Development. So, of course, all of us know that while Green Revolution helped India to be self-sufficient in food, but it also brought a lot of diseases like cancer, particularly diabetes. And we have heard that, with introduction of Green Revolution in Punjab, particularly, it has become the place of cancer and so on. So, we are really thankful that Dr. Bharat Bhushan Tyagi ji has agreed to speak on it, and we are sure that we will be extremely enlightened. And the world needs actually organic farming now for good health and good mental well-being. So I again welcome him. Over to you, Bharat ji.
मैं सभी को नमस्कार करता हूँ। मेरी आवाज ठीक से पहुंच रही है?
जी जी।
यस सर।
बहुत अच्छा। अभी आदरणीय गोयल साहब ने भी, और जो शायद प्रवीण कुमार जी था, नाम जैसे भी है, उन्होंने जो बात कही है वो बहुत ही सार्थक बातें हैं और बहुत ही गंभीर बातें हैं। पूरी दुनिया को अब इस दिशा में सोचने की जरूरत है, और विकल्प यदि समाधान के स्वरूप में सामने आता है तो पूरी दुनिया के लिए बातचीत करने में एक सार्थकता आएगी। और इसीलिए मेरा आपसे निवेदन है कि मैं एक किसान होने के नाते आपके सम्मुख कुछ उन मुद्दों को रखना चाहूंगा जिनको अध्ययन और प्रयोग के साथ साथ मैंने जीते हुए देखा है। 3 शब्द आपकी भाषा में बार बार दोहराए गए कि आदमी को सिंपलिसिटी के साथ में, सस्टेनेबिलिटी के साथ में और स्पिरिचुअलिटी के साथ में किस प्रकार से स्पष्ट अवधारणा के साथ आगे बढ़ना है ताकि पूरी दुनिया एक सूत्रता में, समरसता में और एक रूपता में साथ साथ इस धरती पर जीने की वास्तविकता को ठीक ठीक समझ ले और इस धरती पर जी ले। क्योंकि मनुष्य के जितने भी प्रयास हैं इस धरती पर, उन सभी प्रयासों में अनेक प्रकार की समस्याएं और चुनौतियां हम लोगों के सामने हैं। तो धरती, पेड़ पौधे, पशु पक्षी और मनुष्यों को यदि अध्ययन पूर्वक देखते हैं तो पता लगता है कि प्रकृति की व्यवस्था में अपने में स्वयं में कोई व्यतिरेक नहीं है। मानव की सोच में ही कहीं ना कहीं कोई अधूरापन है, किसी बात की पूरी जानकारी नहीं है, जिस कारण ये चीजें आगे बढ़ जाती हैं। तो मैं यहाँ पर 3 क्रियाओं को अलग अलग रखना चाहूंगा। एक क्रिया है समझना, एक है सीखना और एक है करना। समझना जो है वो चेतना का पार्ट है, कॉन्शियसनेस है, और जो सीखना और करना ये जो 2 शरीर प्रधान विधि से हम इनको पूरा करते हैं। तो हमारी जैसी मानसिकता होती है उसी प्रकार के हमारे सीखने और करने का प्रभाव इस धरती पर जाता है। वो मनुष्य के साथ भी जाता है और वो अन्य प्रकृति की व्यवस्था के साथ भी जाता है। अब पहला सवाल है कि सिंपलिसिटी हमारे अंदर क्यों नहीं है। सिंपलिसिटी का मतलब है कि जब हम विज्ञान की विधि से, तार्किक विधि से, विश्लेषण पूर्वक और हाईली मशीनों के जरिए, मशीनों को प्रमाण मानते हुए, अर्थात मशीन के द्वारा बहुत एक्यूरेसी आ सकती है, इस सोच के साथ जब हम आगे बढ़ते हैं तो हमारा स्पेशलाइजेशन शुरू हो जाता है। हम एक विशेषज्ञ के रूप में स्थापित होते हैं। जितना तर्क बढ़ जाता है, जितना विश्लेषण बढ़ जाता है, उतने ही आस्था और मर्यादाएं कमजोर होने लगती है। कहीं ना कहीं हमारे विचारों में ही ये असंतुलन होता है। तो सबसे पहली मैं एक निवेदन आप सभी से करूंगा कि मनुष्य की चाहना, और चाहना के लिए विचार, विचार का मतलब प्रवृत्ति से है। हम जो चाहते हैं यदि उसको वस्तु के रूप में ठीक ठीक समझ लेते हैं तो हमारे विचार में भी वस्तु ठीक रूप से आ जाती है। यदि हमारे विचार में अनेक सूचनाएं बाहर से किसी वस्तु के बारे में अलग अलग प्रकार की इंफॉर्मेशन देती हैं तो यहाँ मेरे अंदर ही मेरे स्वभाव और मेरी प्रवृत्ति के बीच में एक गैप आ जाता है। ये गैप ही हमको स्पेशलाइजेशन की तरफ बढ़ा देता है, क्योंकि कमजोर होना हमको स्वीकार नहीं होता और हमको अपना मूल्य अधिक जहां लगता है, अपनी कीमत और अपना अस्तित्व जहां बढ़ा हुआ दिखता है, ज्यादा दिखता है, उसको हम स्वीकार लेते हैं। तो कम और ज्यादा के बीच में हमारे अंदर जो हमारी सिंप्लिसिटी थी वो स्पेशलिटी में ट्रांसफर हो जाती है। जितना हम स्पेशलिटी के साथ बढ़ते हैं उतना ही हम अकेले होने लगते हैं। ये अकेले होने की पीड़ा यहां से शुरू होती है। इसका उदाहरण, जैसे हमने चिकित्सा को देखा तो जो डॉक्टर ईएनटी डॉक्टर्स हैं वो हार्ट के बारे में नहीं जानते, जो हार्ट के बारे में जानते हैं वो ईएनटी के बारे में नहीं जानते, जो इन दोनों के बारे में जानते हैं वो हड्डियों के बारे में नहीं जानते। तो चमड़ी का विशेषज्ञ अलग, हड्डी का विशेषज्ञ अलग, आंख का विशेषज्ञ अलग, हार्ट का विशेषज्ञ अलग, किडनी का विशेषज्ञ अलग। इससे पूरा शरीर किसी को भी स्पष्ट नहीं हो पाता। इसको मैं गलत नहीं कह रहा हूं, इसको मैं कह रहा हूं कि ये इंटीग्रेट क्यों नहीं हो पाता। इस इन टोटलिटी, इसमें जो कंप्लीमेंशन की जरूरत है, इंटीग्रेशन की जरूरत है, वो कहां से बिखर गया। उसके बिखरने का एक ही आधार है कि जब जब हम चीजों को एनालिसिस या तर्क या डाटाबेस प्रोग्राम के जरिए आगे देखते हैं तो वहां पर हम उसका कोएग्जिस्टेंस नहीं देख पाते, कोरिलेशन नहीं देख पाते, कोई चीज छूट जाती है। ये डिसबैलेंस का नाम ही तर्क है। एक मेरा निवेदन है, यहां पर 3 क्रियाएं हैं, ज्ञान, विज्ञान और विवेक। ज्ञान का मतलब है जो एग्जिस्टेंस है वो जैसा है उसको मैं वैसा ही समझ लूं और स्वीकार भी लूं। इस नेचर में जो कोएग्जिस्टेंस काम कर रहा है, धरती, पेड़ पौधे, पशु पक्षी सभी साथ साथ हैं, पूरकता में है, नियम, नियंत्रण और संतुलन पूर्वक है। यदि मैं इस व्यवस्था को जैसा है वैसा देख लेता हूं तो मेरा धरती के साथ ज्ञान या समझ होना पूरा हो जाता है। ज्ञान मनुष्य में अलग से कोई जरूरत नहीं है। ज्ञान की जरूरत है कि पूरे अस्तित्व के साथ मैं कैसे जी सकूं, मैं अपने को जान लूं, अपने आचरण को जान लूं, अर्थात दूसरी इकाइयों के साथ मेरा क्या संबंध है और संपूर्ण प्रकृति की व्यवस्था का मूल सूत्र क्या है। तो मैं यह निवेदन करूंगा कि जब हम प्रकृति की व्यवस्था को जैसा है वैसा अध्ययन करते हैं तो उसमें कोएग्जिस्टेंस ही मूल सूत्र आता है, अर्थात इकाइयां पूरकता, उपयोगिता और समृद्धि पूर्वक निरंतर क्रियाशील हैं। एट प्रेजेंट इसको हम कभी भी अध्ययन कर सकते हैं, समझ सकते हैं, इसमें कहीं भी किसी प्रकार का व्यतिरेक नहीं है। किसी भी विचारधारा, किसी भी मान्यता, आदर्श और आस्था के जरिए इसको देखने की जरूरत भी नहीं है। प्रकृति की नित्य वर्तमान व्यवस्था का स्वरूप हर मनुष्य के सामने उपस्थित है। हर मनुष्य उस व्यवस्था के साथ जीना चाहता है, इसलिए उस व्यवस्था को समझना मनुष्य की आवश्यकता ही नहीं, अनिवार्यता है। इस प्रकार से मेरा निवेदन है कि आप जैसे सभी मनीषी, मैंने जैसे अभी गोयल साहब को सुना, मेरा मन गदगद हो गया कि दुनिया में ऐसे विचारशील लोगों को और थोड़ा सा खुलकर सोचना है। हमको विचार के बंधन से बाहर निकलकर हमको एग्जिस्टेंस के बारे में सोचना है कि एग्जिस्टेंस अपने आप में कैसे काम करता है। वो किसी धर्म विशेष से, वो किसी विचार विशेष से, वो किसी देश विशेष से, वो किसी जाति विशेष से, वो किसी लिंग विशेष से, वो किसी वर्ग विशेष से नहीं चलता। वह मनुष्य के ठीक ठीक समझदार होने से ही चलता है। उसका स्वरूप तो स्वयं स्फूर्त है, उसमें मनुष्य की कोई भूमिका नहीं है, लेकिन मनुष्य यदि उसको समझ लेता है तो मनुष्य को वो चलता हुआ ठीक ठीक दिखता है। यहां से हम अपने जीने की भागीदारी को व्यवस्था के साथ स्वीकार कर लेते हैं। तो एक मेरा निवेदन है, यदि हम सिंपलिसिटी की तरफ बढ़ना चाहते हैं तो हमको स्पेशलिटी के लिए हमको ज्ञान की अवधारणा को स्पष्ट करना है। ज्ञान क्या वस्तु है इसको डिफाइन करना है, और इस धरती पर हम क्यों जीना चाहते हैं, उसका प्रयोजन क्या है, इसको विवेक बोलते हैं, ये भी स्पष्ट करना है। तब हमको कैसे जीना है, विज्ञान की अवधारणा को हम संतुलित कर पाएंगे। नहीं तो विज्ञान के कारण, तकनीकी के कारण हमारी जिंदगी में ही व्यतिरेक खड़ा हो जाएगा। विचार, कार्य और व्यवहार के बीच में कहीं ना कहीं असंतुलन आ जाएगा। हम सोचेंगे कुछ और, बोलेंगे कुछ और, करेंगे कुछ और। इसलिए विचार, व्यवहार और कार्य में असंतुलन ही मानव की सबसे बड़ी पीड़ा है। तो ज्ञान यदि सही तरीके से वस्तु रूप में स्पष्ट होता है तो हर व्यक्ति इस धरती पर जनरलाइजेशन, स्पेशलाइजेशन को मुक्त हो जाएगा, वो सिंप्लिसिटी में आएगा, और सिंप्लिसिटी ही हर व्यक्ति को स्वीकार है। यही मनुष्य का आचरण। एक बात मैंने पूरी की। दूसरा निवेदन मैं ये करूंगा कि हमको सस्टेनेबिलिटी के बारे में भी देखना है। सस्टेनेबिलिटी क्या है कि जो आज भी है, कल भी है और हमेशा रहेगी, उसमें मेरी आवश्यकताओं के पूरे होने की व्यवस्था बनी रहेगी। हमको शुद्ध भोजन, हवा, पानी, पर्यावरण और अन्य जितनी भी आवश्यकताएं हैं उसके पूरे होने की व्यवस्था यदि ठीक ढंग से हमारी समझ में आती है तो हमको इस धरती पर जीने में कोई अभाव नहीं लगता। तो अभाव से मुक्त होने के लिए मनुष्य को सस्टेनेबिलिटी की जरूरत है। इसके लिए हमको जो प्रचलित अर्थशास्त्र है उसका अध्ययन करने की जरूरत है, समीक्षा करने की जरूरत है। हमने प्रचलित अर्थशास्त्र में कुछ ऐसे सूत्र और सिद्धांतों को स्वीकार लिया है जिनसे धरती पर कभी भी सस्टेनेबिलिटी नहीं आएगी। गरीबी और अमीरी की खाई दूर रहेगी, आर्थिक असंतुलन बना रहेगा, मनुष्य हमेशा अभावग्रस्त रहेगा, हमेशा लालच में डूबा रहेगा, हमेशा अपने पास जो भी कुछ है वो कम नजर आए। ये मनुष्य में अपने अंदर ही इसकी पीड़ा होती है। इससे मुक्त होने का तरीका क्या है कि हम तन, मन और धन तीनों ही पूंजियों का जो निवेश की जो वस्तु है मनुष्य के पास, वो तन, मन और धन तीनों है। मन का मतलब है समझना, तन का मतलब है श्रम का नियोजन करना, और धन का मतलब है कार्य को गति देना। धन सुविधा से, धन संकेत मुद्रा है। धन वस्तु नहीं है, वो एक संकेत मुद्रा है जिससे हम सुविधाओं का लेन देन करते हैं, वस्तुओं का लेन देन करते हैं और अपनी जिंदगी में कहीं ना कहीं अपनी कार्य योजना को गति देते हैं। इस प्रकार से हर मनुष्य के पास में तीन पूंजी हैं: समझना, श्रम का नियोजन करना और धन से कार्य को गति देना। निवेदन ये मैं आपसे करना चाहता हूं कि यहाँ मनुष्य के पास मूल पूंजी समझना है, जिस पर दुनिया में कोई काम नहीं हुआ। केवल श्रम नियोजन, उसका मैकेनाइजेशन और धन कैसे ज्यादा से ज्यादा मेरे पास आए, कम देकर ज्यादा लेने की प्रवृत्ति के कारण पूरी दुनिया ने पैसे केंद्रित विकास को स्वीकार लिया है। केवल विकास का मतलब है पैसा, विकास का मतलब वस्तु नहीं है, व्यवस्था नहीं है, ज्ञान नहीं है, संबंध नहीं है, केवल पैसा है। यदि हम इस छोटी अर्थ सूत्र के साथ इस धरती पर जीना चाहेंगे तो मानव इस धरती पर कभी भी सुखी नहीं रह सकता, समृद्ध नहीं रह सकता। समृद्धि का एक ही सूत्र है कि उसके निवेश की वस्तु समझदारी और श्रम को मूल पूंजी माना जाए और धन को निवेश की वस्तु नहीं बल्कि सुविधा की वस्तु के रूप में स्वीकार किया जाए। मानव जाति यदि समझदारी और श्रम को मूल पूंजी, निवेश की वस्तु मानता है, इन्वेस्टमेंट की जो हमारे पास में वस्तु है, रियलिटी है, वह हमारी समझदारी है, श्रम है। समझदारी बांटने से कम नहीं होती, श्रम खर्च करने से कम नहीं होता। जो चीज घटती नहीं है वही सस्टेन करती है। रुपया यदि खर्च करेंगे, पैसे को यदि खर्च करेंगे वो घटता है। इसलिए पैसे के खर्च करके इन्वेस्टमेंट के जरिए हम कभी भी सस्टेनेबिलिटी को नहीं पा सकते। पूरी दुनिया को इस पर विचार करना होगा कि जो प्रचलित व्यापार के लिए जो अर्थशास्त्र हमने बनाया है, ये अर्थशास्त्र हमको लाभ के लिए प्रेरित करता है, हमको भोग के लिए प्रेरित करता है, हमको इंद्रियों के आकर्षण, काम के उन्माद के लिए प्रेरित करता है। ऐसे अर्थशास्त्र पर पूरी दुनिया में अब गहराई से संवाद की जरूरत है ताकि हम सही अर्थव्यवस्था को, जो प्रकृति की सुंदर व्यवस्था है, जहां एक दाने से 1000 दाने पैदा होते हैं, वहां का किसान गरीब क्यों है, उत्पादक कमजोर क्यों है, प्रोसेसिंग और ट्रेडिंग करने वाला लोग मालदार क्यों है, इस आर्थिक असंतुलन पर सारी दुनिया को विचार करने की जरूरत है। यहीं से कहीं ना कहीं सस्टेनेबिलिटी के सूत्र निकलते हैं। ये मेरा दूसरा निवेदन है। आप तपस्वी हैं, मनीषी हैं, आप गंभीरता से इन सभी मुद्दों पर सोच सकते हैं। मैं तो एक किसान हूं, किसान होने के नाते मैंने प्रकृति की व्यवस्था के साथ जीकर देखा है। उस जीने के सूत्रों को मैं आपके सामने रखना चाहता हूं। तीसरी एक बहुत सुंदर बात आती है, वह है स्पिरिचुअलिटी। हम अध्यात्म के जरिए आत्मा को केंद्रित रखकर जो शोध और अनुसंधान की बात करते हैं, वो जिंदगी की कुछ सच्चाइयों को छूती है। और भारत में, और भारत की प्रेरणा से पूरी दुनिया में, और इस्कॉन का इसमें एक बहुत बड़ा रूप रहा है, बहुत बड़ा रोल पूरी दुनिया में है। मैं आपको एक संदेश देना चाहता हूं कि एक लंबे समय तक साधनाओं में रहते हुए मैंने ये पाया कि हम प्रकृति को दो तरीके से देख सकते हैं। इसका कोई व्यवस्थापक है और इसमें कोई व्यवस्था है। यदि मैं व्यवस्था को देखता हूं तो व्यवस्था को समझने की प्रेरणा उदय होती है और व्यवस्था के साथ जीने का भाव उदय होता है। लेकिन यदि मैं व्यवस्थापक कोई है ये मैं सोचकर चलता हूं तो मुझे व्यवस्थापक को खोजने का, ढूंढने का, उसके साथ प्रार्थना करने का एक मंतव्य बन जाता है। तो हमें व्यवस्थापक को खोजना है, या व्यवस्थापक के जरिए, या व्यवस्थापक के नियम के द्वारा, नियंत्रण के द्वारा, संतुलन के द्वारा, या व्यवस्था के रूप में जो धरती सजी हुई है, जिसको हम व्यापक बोल रहे हैं। व्यापक में होने से पदार्थ ऊर्जित है, क्रियाशील है, नियंत्रित है, आचरण में है। यदि हम व्यवस्थापक को खोजने की जगह सुंदर सजी हुई प्रकृति की व्यवस्था को नियम, नियंत्रण, संतुलन पूर्वक समझने की तरफ बढ़ते हैं तो हमको इस धरती के साथ जीने का विकल्प हमारे सामने आता है। मैंने इसको देखा है, मैंने इसको जीकर देखा है। मैं आपके साथ में उपदेश करने के लिए, बात करने के लिए नहीं आया हूं। मैं मित्रता के साथ में आपके साथ में वो हृदय की बात करने आया हूं कि जिनके आधार पर इस समस्त सजी हुई धरती को यदि हम सहज रूप में देख लें तो ये धरती नियम पूर्वक क्रियाशील है। हर इकाई में व्यवस्था है, वह समग्र व्यवस्था में भागीदार है। हर इकाई का आचरण निश्चित है, हर इकाई में क्रिया निश्चित है, उसका फल परिणाम निश्चित है। मिट्टी से लेकर, पौधों से लेकर जीव जानवरों को हम ऐसा करते हुए, होते हुए देखते हैं। ठीक इसी प्रकार इस नियम को ही हम निरंतरता में देखते हैं। निरंतर अर्थात इन कंटिन्यूटी, उसका एक ट्रेडिशनल लुक हमको दिखता है। हमेशा हमेशा वही चीज दिखती है। हर बीज अपने में एक परंपरा बनाए हुए है, हर जानवर अपने वंश की परंपरा बनाए हुए है, और धरती में हर परिणाम की एक परंपरा है। एक परमाणु को भी आप किसी भी व्यवस्था से अलग नहीं देख सकते। एक परमाणु भी निरंतर व्यवस्था में भागीदार है। उसने लोहे को बनाया है तो वो लोहे को ही बनाने में लगा है। उसने चांदी बनाई है तो चांदी को बनाने में लगा है। उसने मिट्टी बनाई है तो मिट्टी में है। वो पत्थर बनाया है तो पत्थर में है। वो मणि बनाया है तो मणि में है। धातु बनाया है तो धातु में है। इतनी सुंदर सजी हुई व्यवस्था को यदि हम नियम पूर्वक देखते हैं तो हमको नियंत्रण समझ में आता है, नियंत्रक समझ में नहीं आता। नियंत्रक नहीं है, नियम पूर्वक होने से व्यवस्था नियंत्रित है। इसमें कोई नियंत्रक बाहर से नहीं है, कोई कंट्रोलर नहीं है। ये स्वयं स्फूर्त नियंत्रित है। इसी को आचरण बोला गया है। आचरण की निरंतरता ही परस्परता में संबंध के रूप में संतुलित है। हर इकाई दूसरी इकाई के साथ में नियम नियंत्रण के साथ में क्रियाशील है। हर इकाई दूसरे के लिए पूरक है, वो इकाई दूसरी इकाई के लिए उपयोगी है। धरती पेड़ पौधों के लिए पूरक है तो पेड़ पौधे धरती के लिए उपयोगी है। उससे धरती की उर्वरता बढ़ती है। धरती की कोई भी क्रिया धरती की उर्वरता के विरोध में नहीं है। एग्रीकल्चर साइंस के जरिए या स्पिरिचुअलिटी के जरिए हम इस वास्तविकता को कितना देख पाए हैं, इस पर आपको विचार करने की जरूरत है। मेरे अंदर कोई किसी के लिए प्रतिक्रिया नहीं है, विरोध नहीं है। मैं मित्र भाव से इन सभी वास्तविकताओं को आपके सामने इसलिए रखना चाहता हूं कि इस्कॉन जैसी संस्था यदि पूरी दुनिया में तात्विक रूप से, तार्किक रूप से और व्यवहारिक रूप से ज्ञान को दुनिया के सामने रखती है तो ये दुनिया में ताकत नहीं है कि जो ज्ञान को न स्वीकार करे। इसलिए आज जरूरत है ज्ञान, विज्ञान और विवेक के समन्वय को स्थापित करते हुए हम इस पूरी दुनिया को एक संदेश दें और मानवीय शिक्षा और मानवीय कृषि को बहुत बेहतर से बेहतर बनाएं ताकि दुनिया का स्वास्थ्य ठीक रहे, यहाँ पर्यावरण ठीक रहे, प्रकृति में संतुलन बना रहे। जो ग्लोबल वार्मिंग है या बहुत सारी ऐसी समस्याएं हैं, जो चुनौतियां हैं, वो केवल और केवल मनुष्य के कार्यकलापों का प्रभाव है। इसलिए मनुष्यों को कार्य नहीं बदलने हैं, तरीके नहीं बदलने हैं, अपना विचार बदलना है। क्योंकि विचार से ही हम व्यवहार करते हैं और व्यवहार से ही हम कार्य करते हैं। तो विचार, व्यवहार और कार्य को समाधान का स्वरूप देना ही सहअस्तित्ववादी एक समझ को मैंने आपके सामने प्रस्ताव के रूप में रखा। और इसमें मुझे जो प्रेरणा मिली है मध्यस्थ दर्शन सहअस्तित्ववाद, जिसके प्रणेता अग्रहार श्री नागराज जी, जिनका निवास अमरकंटक मध्य प्रदेश में रहा। मैं लंबे समय तक उनके साथ अध्ययन किया, चूंकि मैं स्पिरिचुअलिटी से, सस्टेनेबिलिटी से और सिंपलिसिटी को बहुत स्वीकार करता था और मुझे लगता था कि दुनिया में मनुष्य को जीने के लिए इन चीजों की जरूरत है। तो आप सभी के लिए आध्यात्मिक अनुसंधान की जो पूर्णता है इस देश ने पाई है, हम सभी ऋषियों के प्रति कृतज्ञ हैं और जिनके द्वारा ये ज्ञान सभी के लिए अब सहज सुलभ है, उन सभी को हृदय से कृतज्ञता व्यक्त करते हुए मैं आप सभी देश विदेश में सुन रहे अपने सभी साथियों को, अभी सभी भाइयों को, सभी बहनों को और सभी परिवार के सदस्यों को मित्र के रूप में स्वीकार करते हुए ये संदेश देना चाहूंगा, ये धरती समाधान और समृद्धि पूर्वक जीने की व्यवस्था है ताकि मनुष्य सुख समृद्धि के साथ जी सके, संबंध को समझकर जी सके। हम धरती के साथ संबंध को समझें, हम पानी के साथ संबंध को समझें। अभी हमने संबंध को नहीं समझा है, हमने पहचाना है। जिस दिन संबंध को समझेंगे उस दिन हम सदुपयोग करेंगे। बिना संबंध को समझे हुए सदुपयोग नहीं होता। पहचानने भर से हम उसका उपयोग भी कर सकते हैं, दुरुपयोग भी कर सकते हैं, शोषण भी कर सकते हैं, व्यापार भी कर सकते हैं और उसको व्यवस्था के साथ सजा भी सकते हैं। ये सारे विकल्प मनुष्य के सामने खुले हैं। तो मेरा आपसे निवेदन है, आपने मुझे बोलने का मौका दिया, आपने मुझे सुना, बहुत हृदय से बहुत दूर आप हैं, लेकिन मैं मन से आपके बहुत नजदीक हूँ, हमेशा आपका मित्र रहूंगा। कभी भारत में आने का मौका हो तो आप मेरे परिवार में जरूर आए। मैं खेती करता हूँ और अच्छी से अच्छी चीजों को पैदा करके किस तरीके से मैं अपने दूसरे परिवारों को खिला सकूं और मैं एक मित्र भाव के रूप में अच्छी जिंदगी जी सकूं, ऐसा मैंने अपनी जिंदगी में देखा है। और ये धरती बहुत सुंदरता से जीने की जगह है। हम सब मिलकर इस धरती को सजाएं, सुंदर बनाएं। इसी कर्तव्य के साथ मैं आप सभी को हृदय से नमस्कार करता हूं। नमस्कार।
धन्यवाद पद्मश्री भारत भूषण त्यागी जी। हम आपसे बहुत बहुत आभारी है क्योंकि आपने इतने महत्वपूर्ण बातें बोले हैं। आपने काफी काफी इंटरेस्टिंग और इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट्स टच किया है। स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम यू हैव डिफाइंड all the 3S what we are speaking in very easy language. For those, our international audience will be extremely beneficial from this. You spoke about that there too much specialization may be good in one sense, but without integration, it cannot be complete. It can be rather harmful. And you emphasized a lot on, only money-centric or economic-centric development, and which is again destructive every sense. It can and give some kind of satisfaction, but in the long term it cannot be sustainable, neither it can be permanent. And it is always scary because it reduces once we spend, whereas you emphasized on some other sources which can be actually expanded even after spending. So bahut shukriya. Now I would like to invite Sri Abhay Tukaram Mutalik Desai, who is going to speak on Homa therapy for environment, food, and human health. And I would like to say a few words about him. He is also our keynote speaker. Abhay Tukaram Malik Desai is an Indian farmer. He established first Homa farming farm in South India in 1999. He is the founder member and coordinator of Organic Food Club, District Balagam 2002, certified organic farmers group. He is the chief promoter of certified organic farmers market, Venugram Organic Fresh since 2016 at Balagam, supplying organic vegetables, fruits, and other food products to more than 600 families. He got various awards like National Award, Dharti Mitra for the best organic farming at 19th Organic World Congress in Delhi on November 9th, 2017. He has also received Krishi Pandit Award and first prize in organic farming from Government of Karnataka in 2005-2006. First prize and award from the Department of Horticulture, District Balagam in 2003. Mr. Avizi presented various papers related to agriculture, titled as following: Importance of Sustainable Organic Farming Practices and Inputs, Experiences of Homa Organic Farming, Constraints for Sustainability of Rural Livelihood, and Experiences of Accepting Challenges by Organic Farmer Groups, Self-Reliance through Homa Organic Farming. We are very much looking forward to hear Mr. Avizi's experience on organic farming. And over to you, Mr. Avizi.
Hello. You can hear me?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, you are audible.
So namaste to everyone from all over the places, and I'm very happy to join you. First, I thank you for the organizing committee for inviting me and giving me an opportunity to share my experiences. Just I heard Dr. Tyagi ji, I had met him a few years back in Delhi. Exactly, it is the sustainability and the spirituality, which is a very simple and which is which can be inherited and which can be practiced so nicely in life. This is what because I am basically a chemical engineer and had learned a lot of only chemicals and very practically thinking of some marketing, production, and so many things. But when I entered into this organic farming, and particularly after this Homa therapy was introduced by my guru, the whole life has changed. Even the perspective of looking at the life has changed. And it is such a simple and so beautiful life one can experience. So apart from having the best environment, best food, and main thing is the totally self-reliance in life. That is, Hamare Guru, he gave me 3 mantras. One is, you don't buy anything, you don't sell to a middleman, and you sell only to the end user, and you become totally self-reliant in everything. Self-reliance in food, self-reliance in health, and this Homa therapy has given me all this possibility, and everyone can experience in this app, and in a very simple way. Though it is called super technology, but when you think it is, when you practice it regularly, it is so simple, which anyone can do, and it is for all and is for everyone. So you can start the PowerPoint presentation so that I can start my lecture. Hello. Hello.
Yes, Mr. Abhayji, have you shared your PPT?
Yeah, I have shared.
Okay.
Ma'am, who's supposed to share the PPT?
Hello.
Sir will share.
Yeah, I have shared. You want me to send one second?
Like you can share your screen.
Just share his slide. Just share his slide, and we can present it now.
Yeah, you just share that I can go on speaking on based on the slide.
Or maybe you can send us once again. That possible.
I just shared it to you, Prabhuji.
Sorry, to whom you sent? Sorry, sir.
One person. Can you send me the mail? I can send you now.
Yeah.
It is taking just 2 minutes to send it, and it was with me. I have shared in the group earlier also. Just 2 minutes.
You have it, no?
Yes.
Kindly share on this, please, if possible. Or you can WhatsApp also.
It is available in core group.
I have got it, sir. Just give me a few seconds. I will share it.
Just a minute. Make me presenter.
Yeah.
Yes, it is visible now.
Yeah.
Please go to the first slide. Yeah.
So actually, I started my organic farming since '94. No.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Well, I belong to an agricultural family. My father was with the influence of the Green Revolution. He started chemical farming in 70s. Was a very successful farmer. He reached, he was growing, the main crop for him was growing sugarcane. He grew about 2,000 tons. And again, after 10, 15 years, it came down to 350 tons. Actually, I passed out my chemical engineering, and my father told, you don't come into agriculture. This is normally we hear even the present day farmers telling their children. This is very unfortunate. But somehow I was attracted since I was brought up in my village, and since I had an affinity to the nature, it made me to look back into agriculture. And first thing it is, I started the organic farming. I met a guru. Normally meeting a guru is a great thing, but I have two gurus in my life. One who taught me organic farming and another who introduced me homotherapy with organic farming. So with organics, the mantra which my first guru gave me, you don't buy anything. You don't sell your raw material. You add value to it, and you don't sell to a middleman. That was a very simple mantra which he gave me. Even one more thing he added, which I took almost 6 to 7 years to reach that. You go to a bank, not for loans, but to keep deposit. He was a very practical person. Though, of course, it appeared to be, because initially, whenever I see when I even interact with so many people, it is as now we are talking about sustainability, spirituality, and everything. But the first thing, the people ask any farmer as such, particularly, what I will get after doing this, how much yield I am going to get, how much more money I am going to earn this. This is even simple. Even after I think about 25 years back, I also had similar type of thinking. But once I got into organic farming, and then when I understood what is real nature and how exactly you become one with it, it is a pure sheer experience. And it becomes, I'm not reading books and all, the whole process itself refined me. It removed all the thoughts which I had, it removed, and it thought now becoming more sustainable, more self-reliance. Swavalambi, how to live a Swavalambi life, totally self-reliant life. And what is the meaning of self-reliance? So this is what I learned with organic farming. And then I was introduced in 99 with the homotherapy. Because we were using a lot of recipes. My first guru had given me so many recipes, because he used to, for example, for disease, for any pest management, for nutrition, we had so many recipes were being used. So even I wondered that how all the farmers could do or follow this in this competitive life. But once I got introduced with homotherapy, it was so simple. He told you, heal the atmosphere, and the healed atmosphere will heal you back. You will use another one more very beautiful concept my guru told was, it is ahimsatmak kheti. It is non-violent agriculture or non-violent farming. Now, what exactly it means non-violent? Because when we talk about organic farming, we are preparing so many recipes to control the pest. There again, as per whether you kill a pest or whatever you want to control something, either using a chemical or whether you are using a bio preparation, ultimately, as per your karma, you have killed some insect. But here it is something which heals the atmosphere. The whole nature comes back into balance, and the predators, whatever, the whole nature takes care of itself. You don't have any interference in that. You are not taking any part in that. And this is the beauty of life of homotherapy, when you have in your day-to-day life, irrespective of whatever profession you are, and it makes so self-reliant, so peaceful. And now this is what I am going to introduce. And because many people, one more thing, when I started it without just having this experience, but when I went to the universities, they started telling what is the science base for this, how you can call it is scientific. Do you think it is, they thought it is something religious. How can a university can do Homa at his place? So these were the questions which were put to me somewhere in 97, 98. So it was not an easy answer for me, because though I had an experience, I could not evaluate or I could not present it as a science to those people who were interested only in the scientific part of it. So, but now luckily we have a lot of people who have experienced all over the world. It is not only in India. Again, it most of the people have experienced it in other countries. They have done a lot of research and evaluation about it. But now with that background, we can put this, apart from all being a very simple science, it is a very high-tech science which one has to experience and one has to understand it. So now what is called Homa therapy? When you say Homa or Yajna, it is a technical name in Vedic science, where which is the process of removing all the toxic things with the agency of fire. So that is called Homa therapy. Now, what is the disease? Which is the disease which we face? Pollution is the disease. Pollution is pollution of air, soil, water, and pollution of mind. So it removes the pollution. So what does the pollution does? It robs all the nutrients of the environment. And what Homa does, it puts it back into it. And when Homa is performed, we are not going to, it is a beneficial element which is produced. We are not going to create anything, but it is only reshaped. So this all knowledge about how to introduce in our day-to-day life, which is directly connected to environment, human health, and this is called Homa therapy. Next. You go for the next slide. So now, when you call Homa, we know there are a lot of Homas, because as far as the Indians are concerned, they are already used and they have seen a lot of Homas are done. But what the simplest of the simplest Homa which can be performed by any person, very a layman who doesn't know any mantras or who doesn't know any. So the simplest of Homa is the name of that Homa is Agnihotra, which is a very smallest and the basic Homa, healing fire, which is done exactly at sunrise and sunset only. And it is the ancient most Vedic science in the field which can be used in bioenergy, medicine, agriculture, and climatic engineering. Next. Next slide. So now how you perform it is the most simplest Homa which can be performed by any person, irrespective of caste, creed, and religion and sex. So it is here it follows a very simple discipline where anybody can learn it and it can be performed. You require a copper pyramid of a specific size. Then the ingredients which you require is cow dung cakes, dried cow dung cakes. Then you require ghee, that is also called clarified. It should be a butter. It should be free from salt. Then you require unbroken, unpolished rice. It is a whole rice. Then you have 2 mantras here. And the main thing is this has to be performed. It is not like any puja where you do it or any time. It has to be performed only at sunrise and sunset only. So time is very, very important. Because next. Now, what is Homa organic farming? When you say Agnihotra, so Agnihotra is the simplest Homa which can be done. But when it is applied in medicine and agriculture, it is called Homa therapy. Now, when Homa therapy is applied in agriculture, it is called Homa organic farming. Now, this can be, you may be practiced. There are different ways and types and names of inorganic farming. Some people call biological farming, some people call natural farming, irrespective of what name and what practices you follow in organic farming. If you add Homa to that, is nothing else, then it becomes Homa organic farming. It is a very simple, it's a farming technique which is consistent, and it promises sustainable increase in crop yields, minimum input cost, and it makes you totally self-reliant. And the main this practice, it's treating the atmosphere, the soil, plants, pest, and disease. Again, the most beautiful thing about the science is the nutrients taken by the plants. When we talk about the plants, we are all concentrating on the soil and water or the nutrients, but actually the nutrients taken from the soil is only 3 to 4%. Maximum, some people say it is 5%. But the remaining nutrients which is absorbed by the plants, it is coming from the atmosphere. And this is a technology where you put nutrition to the atmosphere, heal the atmosphere, and thus by you grow your crops. Next. Now here when I say mantras, they are very two simple mantras which can be learned or it can be by any person. So at sunrise, you can have a lot of details about how Agnihotra is done from the websites which are available. Agnihotra, you just Google Agnihotra, you can know how Agnihotra is performed. But the mantras which we recite at sunrise and sunset is at sunrise, it is Suryaya Swaha, Suryaya Idam Namama. And you are supposed to offer rice when you utter the word Swaha. Similarly, it is Prajapate Swaha, Prajapate Idam Namama. So similarly at sunset, it's just a change in the mantras. And this you have to say it only once. Agnaye Swaha, Agnaye Idam Namama, Prajapate Swaha, Prajapate Idam Namama. Now, when if you don't do it at sunrise and sunset, you are not going to get the effect which is desired. You are not going to get anything wrong. I mean, bad things will happen if you do it wrongly or anything. It is anything is you don't get the exact desired result. So using the right ingredients and doing at the right specific time is very important when you perform Agnihotra Homa. Next. Now, how exactly Agnihotra work? Why you are so particular about sunrise and sunset? It is the flux of energy which is coming from the sun. And what the process which you do, which we call, which is Agnihotra, it is nothing but to tap that energy and use it around our surroundings. So the flux of energies which is actually, it draws the energy from the sun. That is why it has to be done exactly at sunrise and sunset. And then again it goes back to after you complete the Agnihotra, the whole and that energy which is being drawn, which again it goes back to the soil, to the water, to the surrounding. It has an effect on every living being, whether it could be an insect, whether it could be a soil microorganism, it could be water, it could be human beings, it could be plants, animals. So all the living beings are energized, and a holistic, energized environment and atmosphere is created around you. It is a healing atmosphere which creates around you, and that's how it works. Next. Now, how the cycle of Homa, when we say it is also called Go Adharit, when we talk about Go Adharit Krushi or cattle-based, cow-based farming, even Homa is totally dependent on cow. Without cow, you cannot do Homa. See, when you do regular practice of Homa, you are assured of nutritional rain. See, it is very, 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 this word is very important. We get rains, but whether they are nutritional, the pollution has created such, we are getting acidic rains. So here it creates a nutritional rain. And when you have abundantly nutritional rain, you are going to have abundant healthy crops. And when you have healthy crops, you have healthy, happy animals and man. And with the animals, you have cow and ghee supply. And again with cow and ghee and the dung, you perform Homa. So it is a cycle. Each one is depending on one each other. And that is how with the Homa cycle, you can create a wonderful healing environment around you, around any living thing. Next. Now, where all in this field this can be used? It is for healing that environment, that is atmosphere, soil, and water resources, which will definitely help the agriculture and the horticulture. And the most important is the human health, because the first thing which happens around when you do Homa therapy, it is going to have effect on your mind, and that is how it is utilized in psychotherapy, drug addiction, which are connected to the mind. And the most important thing, even the ash which we get when we do everyday Agnihotra, you are going to have ash, and that ash has a wonderful, which has no expiry date. That is the most beautiful thing. Again, you do Agnihotra Homa and you have your own ash. You need not see one thing, you get an energy and a energy to yourself. At the same time, you get a thing which can be stored without any expiry date and which can be used as a medicine. Next. Now again, a lot of research happened, because any Western person or an educated person, he always thinks how it is scientific. without scientific evaluation or proof. No one is going to believe this. So this was done in Colorado University, USA, where when they added ash to the soil, the solubility of the phosphorus was more, and the availability of phosphorus to the plants increased. When they have, these are the different things where when the ash was added to different soil. So we normally use it for adding into the soil. Even if we are preparing some vermicompost and all, we add a little bit of ash to that. And the amount of ash is so minimum. You require only a half a kilo of ash for 1 acre of land, which to rejuvenate it. So it is so simple, and so minute traces of ash is used for the purpose. Next. It also, and main thing when we talk about the environment, it is the atmosphere. Now that is the most important, because when we say 80% of the nutrients, more than 90% of the nutrients are coming from the atmosphere. And we have so many products in the world. There are so many companies in the world who are concentrating only which are concentrating to the soil and water. There is not a product in the world to produce the food which can give nutrition to the atmosphere. But this Homa therapy, which is the knowledge which comes from the Vedas, which gives you a knowledge of putting nutrition to the atmosphere, removing the pollution, and it has been analyzed and assessed by various scientists in India itself. These are the readings which I am presenting. These are the which have been done in India. How the pollutants like nitrous oxide and sulfur dioxide reduced from the atmosphere after performing Agnihotra. Similarly, how when the bacterial count from polluted water, it decreased. So it is, and main thing, the ash, which when you analyze the ash, it has got a lot of so many elements and so many elements, like, so it is just a wonderful tool which you have. The ash is such, it has no expiry date, and this can be used to reduce pollution from the environment as well, from the soil and from the water. Next. Next. So these are how this has been done in Pune, where by Pune University, where how the microbial count was totally, after having Agnihotra, even if you don't add to the ash, even the water is kept in the environment of Agnihotra, the microbial count goes down. This has been proved and it has been found out. Next. This is, the Bhopal case, which is something, thousands of people died because of the methyl isocyanate gas leakage which happened in the night. But there were some few Agnihotra families staying near that mishap which happened, and you will be surprised, they were the people who survived that such a gas leakage and such a deadly gas. So Agnihotra is such a wonderful powerful antidote to any type of pollution. This is a very proved, but very unfortunately, at that time, no one even thought how these people survived. Now a lot of people are rethinking that how these people survived, and now they have found out that Agnihotra is such a wonderful antidote for any type of pollution. This is a living example which happened in a very big scale in Bhopal. Next. These are the things very clearly shows. Before Agnihotra, you can see the microbial count there, and after Agnihotra, how the whole thing gets reduced from water. So it can be used for any treatment of water. It could be any source of water. It could be your well, your bow well, or it could be a lake or whatever. So you go on, if you have, when you produce the ash, you put that ash to the water, all the microbial load, so it can be used for treatment of water, purification of the water. Even at the home, one can just put a pinch of ash to your drinking water, because that is the biggest challenge which we are facing because of the pollution which has been spoiling all the potable water. So here we have got a wonderful, the ash which is by you itself, which can be used for treatment of water. Next. So water purification, these are the readings which we have got, how the pH, how it has an effect on the pH, color, odor, conductivity, total solids, and this is how it, and it also how it is, even very simple. If you have 2 vessels of water, having a fish in that. It's a small aquarium. We have seen that you add a ash to in one and we don't ash in other. The fish which are there in the water which having an ash, they are more vibrant, more active, more healthy, more happy. Now, so this is how it works. On a very, these are the layman thing which we have done. Though we are not scientists, how we do this? The readings which you are seeing, they have been done by some scientific people. But even a layman who does Agnihotra at home, he can use this and you can understand this, how wonderful and so how simple and how scientific it is. Next. So this is something, this was done, this is called Om Sri Dham. It's a Homa farm in Australia. Now, when they decided to have organic farming and Homa organic farming in their place, when they tested, the department told that your soil is very alkaline, high salinity, having a pH of 9.5, and you cannot do agriculture here. You cannot grow food on this. Then what they did was they stayed there. They were doing Agnihotra, and they started using that Agnihotra ash into their bore well in their water resource and applying to the soil. And after some years, they saw that the water became potable, having a pH of 7.2. Now it is such a wonderful farm and with a lot of biodiversity, and they are growing one of the best foods in Australia. Next. This is about my farm. When I started, that is why what I have experienced is, apart from the simplicity of the main thing, when I was doing only organic farming, because a lot of people know about organic farming. So even I started with organic farming using different recipes, so many methods and so many things. But after I introduced Homa therapy along with organic farming, my farming has become very, very simple. When we talk about simplicity, this is I'm experiencing daily with my activities of the farming. It is so simple. Literally, my farm does the work. I don't do anything. Because even I have a lot of work in my farm at present, but I'm sitting here in front of you, speaking with you and sharing my experience. This is the time which you get, and this is the wonder of the Homa therapy along with the organic farming. And the best part of it is the food which I produce, which we have produced on that farm. It is so excellent. Now people talk about marketing, people talk about prices, how to earn money and so many things. And you see a lot of people are committing suicide because they cannot sell their produce. They don't get the right value for their produce. The farmers which are facing not only in India, it is all over the world. But here, my case, it is totally different. I produce such a beautiful and such a nutrition, such a aromatic, such a food which has got flavor. The people are after me. Literally, I cannot supply all for me. How to produce more and more? It is, but again, I am so content. I just don't think of that. So it is a very content type of living and farming, and and the joy you get of sharing such a wonderful food, giving to the community. And you can see about the vanilla. This actually vanilla is a thing which changed my life from a chemical engineer to organic farmer. Because because of vanilla, I became an organic farmer, because my first guru told, if you want to grow vanilla, it is all used by the European countries, and they will use only if it is grown organically, not with any chemicals. So that is how it made me organic farmer. But when I introduced Homa therapy with vanilla requires a lot of almost 6 months processing to give a very good produce. And I did this processing with Homa therapy. That was the year in 2000 when I introduced Homa therapy, almost 22 years back in my farm. And to surprise, when I had the cured beans, vanilla beans, and I went it for the testing, I had the highest vanillin content in the country, 2.91%. Even the people of the Spice Board, they had tested, they had got 2.5 and 2.7. But in the first experience itself, I got the highest vanillin content. When I made oil out of it, and when I got it tested in CFTRI Mysore, it had 36% vanilla oil. So the main thing what I have observed is, now I'm preparing jaggery out of my sugar cane. Then I'm having different aromatic rices, about 7 to 8 varieties of rices, and also growing turmeric. The main thing what I have observed is the active ingredient of those it gets enhanced. You get the right flavor, right aroma, and all the medicinal properties increase in this Homa atmosphere. That has been my practical experience. And when you have all this, there is no problem of selling it. you get what the price you decide. It is you decide the price, and the people are after it. So that is the type of food which you can produce, highly nutrient, highly energetic, and which has got all the flavor, all the taste, all the aroma. Only because with all the chemicals you cannot get all this. But with organic farming, first thing, the organic farming becomes very simple with homotherapy. At the same time, one more important thing is to do organic farming, you also require some patience, you require some dedication, and that it changes when you have homotherapy. When you do Agnihotra Homa, that person, the farmer, whoever is practicing it, he himself becomes self-reliant, he becomes peaceful, and he has the capacity to understand nature, and that is how it helps. And main thing is, I was growing 2 almost in 20 acres. Again, one more, because the majority of in our area is the sugar cane which is grown. And since last 2005 to 2005, it was a peak period where it was normally no one used to spray pesticides on sugarcane. It was supposed to be an easiest crop, but the environment has changed so drastically. Even now, the pesticides are being sprayed on the sugarcane. Normally, it was only the cotton where a lot of pesticides were used, but the environment has changed because of this holy aphid attack. The farmers had to spray pesticides on it. But very surprisingly, in my 20 acres farm, hardly it was in 10 guntas. Again, I have to tell you how this is another wonderful experience. Why this also happened in 10 guntas, I had a small portion, which was again removed by the natural predators. By mistake, I had used a wrong ghee, which was not the pure ghee. But when I realized it, and when I changed it to pure ghee, which we use for Agnihotra Homa, the predators naturally came there, controlled all that woolly aphid. The natural predators were identified by the universities. They came there and they were surprised to see naturally Difa and micromoss. They are the natural predators which control the woolly aphid attack. So this is all a wonderful experience which I had, one having a very best quality produce. At the same time, the environment, again, here my interview, here I am just doing 2 Agnihotras, and that's all. And the whole nature is taking care of itself on its own. That is such a wonderful thing a farmer or any individual can experience. Next. This is something unique, because nowhere in the world I can tell you that anyone has done a test of millipede compost. We all the time we are talking about only vermicompost. We only think that earthworm is the only thing creature which is working in the but in my farm, it is all over my farm. It is the millipede. I don't know from where they came, and the work is so unique that this test was done by one of the chief microbiologists from ICRISAT, Patanchuru. He visited my farm in 2008, and when he saw that it is happening naturally, I don't have any separate. The whole farm works. That is what I'm telling. I don't do myself anything, and this type of millipede is active there, and naturally that compost. He took that compost and he got it tested, and surprisingly, it is such a most useful compost which is being done on my farm naturally. I'm not doing it myself. So this is what the experience of the Homa therapy, where the nature is vibrant, nature is working, and you just observe it, experience it, and just enjoy it. That's all. Next. This is climatic, which is the most important, and now the biggest concern is climatic engineering, because the farmers we have seen in last recent years all over the world, the farmer grows, he does all the hard work, but there is no guarantee till he takes it home. So many problems, and this is what I have seen, that after I started Homa therapy, I have never suffered any harvest loss on my farm. I grow numerous crops, more than 15-20 varieties of crops. I have never experienced. The nature becomes into balance. It is many times it has rained. It is very difficult to document it. People used to ask me, the universities people ask me, you would please document that. How it is very difficult to document. It has rained only on my farm or only on my village. Of course, it happens in nature, but it has happened several times whenever it was necessary. This is wonderful thing which nature, that is called climatic engineering. Homa therapy, though it appears to be so simple, small Homa, but The sky is the limit, how it works. You know a very little, you know, a tip of the iceberg. You go on experiencing, as you go on doing it, each one has his own experience. And ultimately, it is the experience which gives you more and more confidence in your life and makes your life very simple. Now here, I talked self-reliant life. For human health, that ash is such a wonderful thing. Actually, we are giving it for AIDS and cancer patients. It is given free. Just add to the water and drink it. That's all. You just strain it and drink it. We can prepare an ash for, particularly for psoriasis, which is a very lot of people suffer it, and this ash can be used preparing ointment, and it can be applied externally. Even I have seen people having a cut or bruise which is healed with this ointment, which can be prepared by yourself. You can do inhalation if there's a congestion and all, particularly in this environment of this COVID. This inhalation works wonderfully. And even there is a ancient science of healing, a book written by Monica Koch. She is a pharmacist from Germany. She has written a book on this. She has prepared more than 40 preparations. Again, it is the ash, and you prepare yourself. You become totally self-reliant. You can control about more than 40 problems, types of problems of health with this Agnihotra and Agnihotra.
We have lost Avaiji. Avaiji, can you unmute yourself? Avaiji, we are not able to hear you.
Hello.
Yes, yes, you are back.
Yeah, just something. I'm working on a mobile. That's the problem. Just it's not coming.
Yes, now it is fine. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Something.
I think we have lost Avaiji. Oh, he is there. He is muted again. Avaiji, we have lost you. Yeah, now hearing.
Yeah, you can hear me, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
How many slides, more slides do you have?
Maybe another few slides, very few.
Okay, please.
Yeah, you can go for the next slide. So this can be used for your, as for asthmatic TB and purifying the blood. Next. So this is how it has been analyzed. It has got 92 elements which can be used for external application, internal, oral. You can use it, and you can totally come out of the health problems which you face in day-to-day life. So having an Agnihotra at home, and along with that you get the ash, and you have a remedy for all your health problems. Next. So this is again different types of external preparations which you can prepare from ash medicine. Next. So again, it is something wonderful. So simple it is. Very, very simple. You hardly require about few minutes. It is only thing the time here, the principle is here you have to adopt to the timings. You have to at sunrise and sunset only, with very simple for everyone and for all. It can be used in agriculture. It can be used in day-to-day life for human health, and also controlling all the environmental problems which we are facing. So such a simple tool which has come with the knowledge comes from the Vedas. It is so simple, and it is for everyone. It is not for only Indians or anything. It is for everyone. It is now there are more than 75, 80 countries where Agnihotra is done or practiced, and wonderful experiences. People are getting it. So simple, and though it is very high tech, if you go on doing evaluation, it is very high tech. But at the same time, it is very simple. Each one, and with a layman also, can use it in his life and make a beautiful life. Thank you for giving me an opportunity for sharing my experiences. and all the best for all you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Abhijit, for your enlightening speech. I think to me personally, it is completely new and very surprising and very interesting. I think it might be also for many other international audience. I myself have some questions, but I would rather give the opportunity to the audience. We can take a few questions. Can the audience chat? Write down their questions in chat box. I invite questions for both the speakers, our first speaker as well as our second speakers. Dibba Patel, can you help me in arranging questions? Okay, since we have not got yet, I have a I have a quick question. So one is that, how we can know, first is that whether you have done any patent or something, because you have explored this, like, of course it was there in beta, but is it possible to do some geo patent or something? Because a lot of time Indian and indigenous knowledge is going to Western countries, but then they are demanding that belongs to them. So this is one. And second is that, do you have, I think Professor Thomas is asking me to unmute, but I cannot unmute actually anyone. I'm not a co-host. Let me, no.
I think Professor Goel can unmute himself.
Yes. Yes. And second is that how can we identify which one is pure ghee or not? Abhijit?
Yeah, now I am getting some one thing. People have asked whether it is mandatory to use only desi cows. When we talk about desi cows, fortunately they are in our country. It is the best choice, but it is not necessary. But when we have seen the experiences and the results which have been given in the Western countries, where they don't have desi cows, they are using, Jersey or HF cows. Even those people have got wonderful results, even better than that, because one more, the very simple practical thing I would like to tell you is the ghee available in a Western country is only cow ghee. They don't have any buffalo ghee there. But here in India, we have, and there is a lot of adulteration because since the demand is there for cow ghee, a lot of people are also doing adulteration. So that possibility is there in our country. But if the best thing, of course, if you have a desi cow, you use the cow dung of that because it has more medicinal properties, because already a lot of research has been done even in that respect. So desi cow would be the first preference, as we are in India. It is easily available and you can use it. But it is not mandatory. Even if you have cow ghee of even of the Jersey or HF, even that will do for Agnihotra. Absolutely no problem. But in case of you are using that ash for AIDS patient and for cancer patients, where you want to use it as a medicine, that ash, then prefer cow ghee of desi and even cow dung from desi cows. And regarding what is the difference between ZBNF and homotherapy, see, it is homotherapy is a totally different process where you are healing the atmosphere. It makes your farming easy because you have medicine when you have some disease. Now, if there is no disease, you are not going to use any medicine. That is an environment which gets created. So you may practice, you call it ZBNF or you call it organic farming, you can call it Jaivik Kheti or whatever it is. You have Agnihotra, and along with that, you do any sustainable farming practices, which is useful to the nature. Any type of system can be done along with that.
Okay. So I have another question, two questions I will combine for Padma Shri Bharat Bhushan Tyagiji. One is that how to incorporate simplicity in professional life. Professional life में simplicity कैसे करें? और एक क्वेश्चन है कि कैसे हम लोग loneliness से बाहर रहे, दूर रहे. How to move away from loneliness. So our question was coming from Amit Kumar Singh, and again same Amit Kumar Singh. Please unmute, sir.
ये दोनों ही जो सवाल हैं आपस में जुड़े हुए हैं. एक तो हम अकेलेपन से कैसे बाहर आए और दूसरा हम सिंपलिसिटी में कैसे रह सकते हैं। आज जैसी दुनिया चल रही है इसमें हम सिंपलिसिटी को कैसे ले सकते हैं। तो मेरा निवेदन इसमें बहुत साधारण सी बात है कि विचार, व्यवहार और कार्य, 3 क्रिया हम लोग करते हैं। विचार अपने आप में, माने स्वयं में विचार करते हैं, अपने किसी साथी के साथ, परिवार के सदस्य के साथ या मानव के रूप में हम व्यवहार करते हैं, और कार्य हम प्रकृति के साथ करते हैं। तो प्रकृति के साथ नियम को समझते हैं, व्यवहार में न्याय को समझते हैं, और स्वयं में सही क्या है इसको स्वीकारते हैं। तो आपको किसी भी समय कहीं भी आपकी सिंपलिसिटी कमजोर नहीं होती, हर जगह आप सिंपलिसिटी में जीते हैं। प्रकृति के साथ नियम को समझना, मनुष्य के साथ न्याय को समझना, और स्वयं के साथ विचार में सही वस्तु क्या है इसको स्वीकारने से आदमी अपने में भी और परस्परता में आराम से सज्जनता पूर्वक जीता है। कोई तकलीफ की बात नहीं है, क्योंकि ज्ञान जो है वो स्पेशलाइजेशन नहीं है, ज्ञान साझा चीज है। अभी जो चर्चा हो रही है, जैसे हम खेती की अनेक प्रणालियों की चर्चा कर रहे हैं, जिसमें हुमा फार्मिंग भी है, ऑर्गेनिक एग्रीकल्चर भी है, और प्राकृतिक खेती भी है, सजीव खेती भी है, सेंद्रीय खेती भी है, निसर्ग खेती भी है, नक्षत्र कृषि भी है। ऐसे करके बहुत सारे तरीके भारत में हैं। हर तरीका अलग अलग है, तरीके अलग अलग होते हैं, लेकिन ज्ञान एक ही होता है। प्रकृति की व्यवस्था का कोई भी स्वरूप अलग अलग नहीं है, प्रकृति की वस्तु निश्चित है। इसलिए ज्ञान के आधार पर ही एक रूपता होती है, प्रतिक्रियाएं खत्म होती हैं, अकेलापन खत्म होता है, तनाव खत्म होता है, और हमें परस्परता में एक दूसरे के साथ संबंध समझ में आता है, तो हम अच्छी जिंदगी जी लेते हैं। तरीकों में अलग अलग तरीके में सब अपने में विशेषज्ञ होते हैं। इसलिए विशेषज्ञता ही स्पेशलाइजेशन है, स्पेशलाइजेशन ही एक दूसरे के साथ में टकराव है, एक दूसरे के साथ में प्रतिक्रियाएं हैं, क्योंकि जो भी जिस तरीके को स्वीकारता है उस तरीके से काम कर सकता है। हमने खेती करते हुए ये देखा है कि खेती करते हुए हम प्रकृति की व्यवस्था और नियम को समझते हैं, तो हमें किसी भी प्रकार की लागत, किसी भी प्रकार के तरीके या किसी भी प्रकार की अन्य प्रतिक्रियाओं की जरूरत नहीं है। धरती अपना खाद खुद बनाती है, कीड़े बीमारियों का नियंत्रण धरती की सतह में है, और खरपतवार जमीन की उर्वरता के लिए बने हैं। इस प्रकार से खेती में प्रकृति की व्यवस्था को समझना ही मूल क्रिया है। सवाल तो बहुत छोटा सा था, लेकिन इसका उत्तर जो है वो प्रकृति की व्यवस्था को समझने से ही स्पष्ट होता है। ये मेरा निवेदन।
जी जी। हमारा दूसरा, द सेकंड क्वेश्चन इज फॉर अभय जी. My question is that what is the difference between ZBNF and homotherapy? I am Anup Kumar, Department of Economics, University of Allahabad. My whole research is on organic farming. So ZBNF and homotherapy difference.
ये बहुत ही सरल क्रिया है, इसको बहुत आसानी से समझना है। हम धरती पर पूरी मटेरियल स्टेट को 3 फॉर्म में देखते हैं, ठोस, तरल और विरल, माने हवा, पानी और ठोस। इन 3 प्रकार से हम देखते हैं। जब हम तरल रूप में रासायनिक संरचना को किसी भी वस्तु के द्वारा उसकी रासायनिक संरचना को समृद्ध करने की बात करते हैं, तो वहां पर गाय, उसका गोबर, पेशाब, मिट्टी, बीज और जीवाणु को मिलाकर जो एक तंत्र बनाया गया, वो उसमें ZBNF में उसका संकेत है। जब हम हवा में हवा को शुद्ध करते हुए, चूंकि एक जो सेल है वो ठोस भी लेता है, लिक्विड भी लेता है, और वह गैस भी लेता है, तो गैस के रूप में ग्रहण करने की क्षमता सेल की बहुत ज्यादा है। इसलिए अग्निहोत्र का मतलब है कि हम सेल में प्राण क्रिया के जरिए उसका पोषण तंत्र स्थापित करते हैं। अर्थात जब पौधे या कोई भी सेल हवा को ग्रहण करता है, तो वो भोजन के रूप में सबसे ज्यादा हवा को ही लेता है। तो हवा की क्रिया के जरिए हम यदि किसी पौधे को, किसी भी शरीर रचना को हम पोषण क्रिया को समृद्ध करते हैं, उसका नाम अग्निहोत्रा है। अग्निहोत्रा में प्राण क्रिया को समृद्ध करने की क्रिया है, ZBNF में रस तंत्र को पुष्ट करने की क्रिया है। इन दोनों में कोई मतभेद की जरूरत नहीं है, ये दोनों अलग अलग तरीके हैं। ये मेरा निवेदन।
जी जी, थैंक यू। अभय जी, do you want to add something there?
इट्स करेक्ट, एग्जैक्ट त्यागी जी ने बहुत सुंदर रीति से उन्होंने उनको उल्लेख किया है। इट इज वेरी नाइस। एक्चुअली दे आर ऑल वन रिलेटेड टू ईच अदर। You can practice any type of agriculture, irrespective of what name it is. It is ultimately the environment is very important. So in a very healed environment, you practice your agriculture. You are going to be a successful and a very perfect way of living.
Thank you to both our honorable speakers and all audience. I think there are many questions, but due to lack of time, we cannot take more questions. Now, I would like to invite our next speaker. Miss Saila Chauhan, who is also a key speaker to this session. Miss Saila Chauhan is an environmental consultant. She creates recycling initiatives and environmental campaigns to foster behavioral change for the aim of creating sustainable lifestyles and contributing to a circular economy. She holds a BSc honors degree in environmental sciences and a master's in environmental law and practices. Shayla led a team to deliver one of the Europe's biggest recycling and waste service changes across 4 South London boroughs through implementing a robust communication and education strategy. Beyond her 9-to-5 work, her work continues even with vigor. She offers her services as an environmental consultant to the South Asian communities to take climate action through the concept of karma. She delivers through provoking workshop and has mobilized a team of volunteers to tour an interactive exhibition called Karma to Climate Change, that is K2CC, to universities, Canary Wharf bankers, and a popular Hindu festival, which have over 60,000 people in attendance. K2CC was recognized by UNESCO as a project for global best practice in the climate change community development. Shaila's works in faith and environment has led to the invitations to contribute to international panels on climate change in Rome, New York, Argentina, and Windsor Castle. In her career, she has also led a panel on the circular economy and sat on a panel on diversity and inclusion at industry's largest recycling conference and exhibitions at Birmingham NEC. She has recently taken a joint role at ISKCON's Green Team National Coordinator for the UK. Shaila's new campaign and online presence is called Green Karma Blue Planet, for which she has written a film. She will continue to build a tribe of eco-lovers that will expand beyond her lifetime. This is the only footprint she wishes to leave behind. Now, may I invite Ms. Shaila Chauhan to speak on her topic, How Faith in Divinity Inspires Environmental Activism. Over to you.
Namaste, everybody. Hare Krishna, and thank you so much for the introduction. My name is Sheila Chauhan, and I am an environmentalist specializing in campaigns and policy. I'd like to firstly give my thanks to all the organizers for this conference and for the invitation to speak. It's truly wonderful to be amongst powerful speakers with so much wisdom in the field of environmentalism. I am inspired already, and it's just literally a couple of hours into this conference. So before I begin, I'd like for you to all just to close your eyes, just join me in this quiet meditation. So I'd like you to close your eyes and forget where you were rushing from. So please close your eyes. I'd like you to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. You are already feeling relaxed. Take another breath in, and this time bring your shoulders to your ears. And as you breathe out, I'd like you to let your shoulders fall. You are now totally relaxed. Keeping your eyes shut, think of a time when you were in nature and you were happy, where you felt connected and you felt peaceful. This place could be a beach, a park, or even on a hilltop or a mountaintop. The air was fresh and you had a smile on your face. This is the beauty of life, and it should be kept this way. This is your happy place, and it should not be spoiled. It should remain beautiful for you to go back to and experience again and again. And maybe you will go and share it with your friends and family. Now, I would like you to all open your eyes. And if you have a pen or paper handy, please write down your happy place, because we will come back to this later. So you should all be feeling quite relaxed now. So this talk is titled How Faith in Divinity Inspires Environmental Activism. So it is very important for me to give a personal account of mine. Now, I've always had a protective nature, standing up to injustices in the playground when I was a small girl, to protecting my friends from bullies. And being an older sister, I was protecting my younger siblings from any hardships, and eventually grew into protecting Mother Earth. Now, she's taken for granted, and the relationship at times can be very one-sided, where we are the ones that are taking and exploiting and spoiling. Now, I remember when I was a child and I saw on the news that there was a hole in the ozone layer due to the use of CFCs from aerosols. At that moment in my life, I realized how fragile the earth actually is. And the cause of human impact can be detrimental if it's not checked. And I thought to myself as a young girl, who's looking after Mother Earth, Mother Bhumi? Now, this led me to study my bachelor degree in environmental sciences. And recently I completed my master's in environmental law and practice, because I wanted to understand if national or international law is actually protecting Mother Bhumi, or are we just playing lip service? And if this protection comes second to economic development. So currently, like it was said in my introduction, I work for a multinational company and I specialize in environmental campaigns and policy. I also support my local temple to implement green practices, and that's Bhaktivedanta Manor in just outside of London. And this has recently led me to be a green coordinator, to take on a position where I look after all ISKCON temples across the UK, which I'm looking forward to starting on. It's just a new role. So with most of us, there was a moment in our lives where the environmental work that we are doing became beyond the 9-to-5 calling. It became a purpose. Like very much of the speakers today, it's a Saturday and we're here. So it has become beyond our 9-to-5. And this purpose, this calling, comes from a very emotional response. So I'd like to share my manifestation moment that catapulted me to activism, to environmental activism. So after university, I carried out an environmental project in Kerala, South India, and I lived in an elephant grass roof hut, and I would open my door and I would see the Western Ghats Mountains and its beautiful splendor before me. And I would think, I want to conquer it. I want to climb this mountain. I want to conquer this mountain by climbing it. So on my first attempt, I climbed halfway up. And as I climbed halfway up, I was told by the local indigenous people living on the mountain to go no further because bears were spotted an hour ago and it's dangerous to continue. Disappointed, I climbed back down that mountain. But I'm not a defeatist. So a week later, I started my second attempt to climb the mountain. And on this path, I spotted snakes in the undergrowth. So I had to abandon my trek again. Disappointed, I climbed back down. A week later, I tried again, my third attempt, but this time with a different route. And guess what? No snakes, no bears. I made it to the top. At the top of the mountain, rather than feeling elated, I felt emotional. Rather than feeling proud, I was humbled. Rather than feeling like a conqueror, I felt conquered. Rather than feeling like a champion, instead I felt small on this majestic mountain that was millions of years old, that held the wisdom of life in every crevice of its rock face. Who am I to conquer this mountain? I am insignificant in comparison to the mountain. My body is home to one person, and that's me. But the mountain is home to countless number of species, and it stands there being cooled by the breeze or warmed by the sun. Nature changes the mountain. I was humbled and I fell on my knees at the mercy of the mountain. This mountain and the natural world need our respect and protection. On that day onwards, I checked my narrative in how I describe the natural world. So my happy place, ladies and gentlemen, is the Western Ghats Mountains. And this was the beginning of my environmental activism. That was my emotional response. So I'd like to introduce to you the 3 fundamental Hindu concepts which play crucial roles in my environmental activism. And it's ahimsa, non-violence, dharma, duty, and karma, cycle of action and reaction. As a Hindu, my faith-led environmental activism lies deep-rooted in the need to exercise ahimsa, non-violence, in my everyday actions, karma, towards the natural world as an act of my duty, dharma. In the timeless wisdom of the Eastern scriptures in the Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 7, verse 8, Lord Krishna says, I am the original fragrance of the earth. I am the taste of water. I am the heat in fire. I am the life of all that lives. So we understand that the earth and the natural elements is the energy of God, Shri Krishna, and it is deemed sacred and worthy of our love, respect, reverence, and protection, because we too are part and parcel of the divine. Now, I personally see the hand of divinity in nature every day. But when I read the scriptures and what I see, what the human race is doing is completely the opposite. Because like I said, Krishna says, I am the taste of water, but the clear water is being polluted with chemicals and plastics, degrading water quality and rendering it toxic to humans and the aquatic species. It is said that by 2050, there would be more plastic in the ocean than there is fish. Now that is alarming. Krishna says, I am the fragrance of the earth, but his land is being destroyed through mass deforestation for cattle grazing or extraction, for oil or minerals, or even fly tipping, reckless fly tipping or littering. Krishna says, I am the life of all that lives, but yet all creatures great and small are suffering from habitat loss, mass extinction, and slaughter. See, there is an apparent disconnect between what the scripture says and our actions. So why is that? By understanding our duty, our dharma, it is one of the most important Hindu concepts, and it has been translated into English as duty, virtue, or religion. In Hinduism, protecting the environment is an important expression of dharma. Now, in the past centuries, Indian communities, very much like the very traditional communities, they did not have an understanding of the environment as separate from the spheres of environment in their lives. Several Hindu communities have maintained very strong communal practices to protect local ecosystems such as forests and water sources. We even refer to the rivers as goddesses. Now, these communities carry out these conservation-orientated practices not as environmental acts, but as expressions of dharma. Now, the first tree huggers, as you probably know, were the Chipko movement. They were a village who in 1730, they died while trying to protect their trees in their village from being turned into raw material for building a palace. They literally clung to the trees while being slaughtered by the foresters. Now, this was the impetus of non-violent protests against deforestation from the world. It began in India. So like I said, they were simply experiencing or expressing their reverence for creation according to Hindu teachings, not restoring the environment. These traditional Indian groups do not see religion, ecology, or ethics as separate arenas of life. Instead, they understand it to be part of their dharma, to treat creation with respect. Now, I believe that where we live is actually the second creation. I believe that the house that we live is actually the second creation. The first creation, ladies and gentlemen, is actually out there. The first creation of our real and most important home is the earth. All the conveniences that we have in our home is the direct replication of what is out there. The trees provide us with a sitting place and shade from the sun, and the leaves provide us with a soft breeze to cool us down. The pristine waters revitalizes and cleanses our body from the inside and outside. The expansive landscape provides us with fertile soil so that we can grow fruits and vegetables, which are nourishing. The structures that we call home, work, and leisure all derive from Earth's natural resources. Every second of our existence, the earth breathes life into our lungs with clean air. Now, I was at the COP26 conference last year in Glasgow, and there was a panel discussion with indigenous peoples from South America. And there was one person sitting on this panel, and he was looking around. And when it was his turn to speak, he continued to look around in complete bewilderment in this large room. He said that I can feel a cool breeze, but we are not outside. What is this air? Where is it coming from? I can see different lights in this large room, but it's not the same light. Where is it coming from? I'm aware, the light that I'm aware of warms my skin. Where is this light coming from? So it made me think that we are sitting here replicating something which is out there, but we are destroying the source. Now, in the Eastern scriptures, in the Vedas, it says that there are 7 mothers, and the earth is regarded as one of them. 1 is the real mother. Number 2 is the wife of the spiritual master. Number 3, the wife of the Brahmana. Number 4, the wife of the king. Number 5, the cow. 6, the nurse. And number 7, the earth. And that comes from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 11, verse 8. Now, as a child of the mother, are we protecting Mother Earth? Right now, Mother Earth is suffering from our actions, our karma. It is not enough to protect our natural environment. We must know its source. Now, we affectionately call the earth Mother. But what about the Father? In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says in chapter 14, verse 4, Krishna says, I'm the seed-giving father, and nature is the mother of all living beings in all shapes. Thus, Mother Nature has enough foodstuff for the animals and for humans. And by the grace of the Father Almighty, Sri Krishna, it is the nature of a mother to be selfless and to give unconditionally. How many of you are here are mothers? So that obviously must ring true to you. You are selfless and you give unconditionally. So I'd like to labor this point by giving you an example. Now, a disciple of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada, who is a founder teacher of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness, this disciple asked Srila Prabhupada about the connection between God and nature. He wanted to know what the difference was between the two. Can we worship nature alone? Srila Prabhupada said to his disciple, if I left my spectacles on the chair and I walked away, what would you do? The disciple said, well, I would move the spectacles from the chair to the table so it doesn't get sat on or broken. So Srila Prabhupada asked, well, why is that important to you if it gets broken? The disciple said, well, because they belong to you and you need your spectacles to carry out your work. So with some more probing, the lesson is that the spectacles are not the guru, but because the spectacles belong to the guru and they are important for him to carry out his work, then they are important to his disciple. Similarly, the earth is the energy of Krishna. And just like those glasses, we want to protect it because it belongs to the Lord. And therefore the earth is sacred and we should love, show gratitude, respect, and protect it. And these are all virtues. But when we take more than what we need and we plunder and we rape and we over-extract, then we are operating on the grounds of vices such as greed or hankering for more. See, what we have failed to see and what we do to nature will become our nature as well. If we pollute the air, we will pollute ourselves. So let's explore this a little bit more. Hinduism teaches us that there are 5 great elements: space, air, fire, water, and earth. And that constitutes an environment that all derive from Prakriti, the primal energy. Now, each of these elements has its own life and form. And together the elements are interconnected and they're also interdependent. The Upanishads explains that the interdependence of these elements in relation to Brahman, the supreme reality from which they arise. From Brahman arises space, from space arises air, from air arises fire, from fire arises water, and from water arises earth. In Hinduism, we recognize that the human body is composed of and related to these 5 elements, which connects each of the elements to our 5 senses. Now, this was a deal breaker. I mean, this was a real revelation when I learned this. The human nose is related to the earth, the tongue to the water, the eyes to the fire, the skin to the air, and the ears to space. The bond between our senses and animal elements is the foundation of our human relationship between the natural world. For Hinduism, nature and environment are not outsiders or alien to us or hostile to us. They are inseparable and part of our existence. They constitute our very bodies. Our 5 senses connect us to the earth. So what we do out there, we do to ourselves. If we pollute the air, we pollute ourselves. So what are the challenges that we are facing? Well, people are filling a void in their life with things, but these things are temporary. You can satisfy your every need without compromising the environment. Seeing that it is our actions and that money talks, we can choose wisely where we spend our money. See, I believe that the current environmental crisis is a crisis in the human spirit because we have replaced our virtues of compassion, gratitude, care with greed, envy, impatience. The pollution outside of us is inside of us, and that needs to be tackled first for there to be long-term benefits. In our Eastern Vedic scriptures, in the Sri Upanishads, it says everything animate or inanimate that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself, which are set aside as his quota. One should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong. Here we have a definition of sustainable living right here. It's not a modern concept. Therefore, we understand that when we take more than our fair share, then we are nothing but thieves, robbing the next generation of their livelihood. So what is our responsibility for the next generations? It is to show them that we can advance and we can be progressive without compromising the natural world, to live in harmony with the natural world. And all of you probably very well know that Mahatma Gandhi said that there is enough for every man's need, but not enough for every man's greed. Therefore, by exercising my duty towards the natural world in a non-violent way, and by taking full responsibility of my actions and being an advocate for this, I am able to pass on a world which is habitable and just for the next generation. You see, our environmental activism, or my environmental activism, starts with our mindset, how and where we spend our money. We are actually the most powerful people because we have money, because we have Lakshmi. Our money can manufacture anything from a single-use plastic to a skyscraper. Our gift to Mother Earth and the divine can be to look within ourselves and our own lives and see if we can protect the Lord's beloved earth through our everyday actions. So I'd like for you to think that certain things that we do in our everyday lives, for example, who recycles at home, who separates their waste? How many of you actually do that? Hands up. That's great. And we can do more by reducing what we buy if it's not necessary, reusing what we have, by repairing it if it's broken, or giving it to charity. Does anyone know what more we can do to protect our earth? What we can do is we can buy only what we need from sustainable sources. For example, using a reusable bottle, avoiding single-use plastics, walking or cycling or travel smarter by sharing vehicles wherever possible, buying organic or locally, buying organic produce, buying it locally, or growing your own fruits and vegetables, eating fruit and vegetables in season. For example, in the UK, we love to eat blueberries. They're actually a summer fruit, but if we don't eat them in the summer, and we eat them out of season, they can be flown from a far-flung place, such as like South America. Like I said, blueberries out of season are flown from like a very hot country. And if we buy them out of season, then they travel from places like Costa Rica just to satisfy our taste buds. But it takes so much resources, such as the air miles and the packaging. Other things we can do, especially in the UK or elsewhere, we can change our electricity and gas to a renewable gas energy supplier. I, for one, have done that. We can eat a more plant-based diet as well. We can also move our money out of fossil fuels. We can check who we bank with, who our insurance is with, our pension companies, to see who they're supporting. Are they supporting fossil fuel companies? Then we can move our money. There are even more actions that we can take to care and protect the Mother Earth. And this is obviously called climate action. Each one of us can start to make ethical and sustainable lifestyle changes. And collectively, we will be able to conserve and protect the earth for ourselves, but also for future generations. So what inspires me? What inspires me is that I am protecting the Lord's energy. And that is my service to Mother Earth. And that gives me greater purpose in my life. It gets me up. It gets me to do beyond my 9 to 5. That is where my environmental activism stems from an emotional response. So let's go back to the beginning, where I asked you to close your eyes. Now let's all go back to that happy place. I'd like you to breathe in, breathe out. And as you breathe out, I'd like you to promise to tread carefully on Mother Bhumi, on this earth, and take only what you need with gratitude. So your happy place, can bring joy to others for future generations. Namaste, and thank you very much for your kind attention. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Ms. Ella Chehan. It was a mesmerizing talk indeed, because it was spoken with full energy, attention, and with experience. And I think that is the beauty of this session, what we are having from Monday morning. Everyone is not simply a speaker, but they are practitioner. And whatever coming out of their mouth is completely based on their experience and completely coming out of their heart. So we are really honored to have you here. We will, please wait for some time. We will have a set of questions later once other speakers completes their talk. Thank you again. So, namaste. So now I would like to invite Professor Suresh Valla, IIT Delhi. He will be speaking on blending of traditional and modern technological knowledge for simple and sustainable infrastructure using bamboo. I would like to speak a few words about Professor Valla. Professor Valla is a professor at the Department of Civil Engineering, IIT Delhi. His main areas of interest are smart structures, structural health monitoring, electric mechanical impedance, technique, biomechanics, biomedical applications of smart materials, piezoelectric energy harvesting, and engineered bamboo structures. Professor Valla has published over 70 papers in international SCI index journals and over 90 in international and national referred conferences and workshops. He has co-authored 2 books, Piezoelectric Materials, Applications in SHM, Energy Harvesting and Biomechanics, and Smart Materials in Structural Health Monitoring, Control and Biomechanics, Springer, published by Springer. He has also contributed chapters for 3 other books. His publications are highly cited in the Web of Science and Scopus by peers, represented by a high index, H-index of 25 in Web of Science and 29 in Scopus. In 2020, Professor Valla has been recognized among top 2% world scientists by Stanford University on the basis of standardized citation indications. His pioneering paper on monitoring of RC structures, published in 2000, has received 290 plus citations offering Web of Science. A finalist of the Scopus Young Scientist Award 2014, Professor Valla has been recipient of several other laurels, such as 3 Best Paper Awards 2018, 16, and 2012, Award for Teaching Excellence in 2011, Outstanding Young Faculty Fellow 2008, NSTB Gold Medal for Best Master's Thesis, and the Institute of Silver Medal in 1995. Professor Valla has completed research and development projects amounting to about ₹11 crore. Professor Valla has 5 inventions disclosures to his credit, 4 of which have been applied for the patent. Professor Valla has been the founder of the Smart Structures and Dynamic Lab at IIT Delhi. He is a member of work group CED37WZ7, working towards a base standard on structured health monitoring, and also core group of Niti Aayog, working towards promotion of bamboo for construction. Professor Valla chaired the International Conference on Futuristic Technologies held during 22-24 January 2021 on online mode. So we have really eminent academician, and we are researcher. We are waiting to hear him. Over to you, Professor Valla.
Thank you, Professor Sakia. I hope that I'm audible.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you very much for your kind introduction. And it's a great privilege for me to speak in this wonderful international conference. So I had presented a paper in the last international S3 conference also, today's paper is just a continuation of the same. We have been doing the work, and the incremental progress achieved during the last 1 year is now being presented. And there'll be some small overlap of the background for the new audience. So essentially, today, the construction industry is one of the most polluting industries of the world, though we might not apparently see, but the issue is that every ton of cement or every ton of steel produced, this is accompanied by almost same amount of carbon dioxide released to the atmosphere. The construction industry itself is quite aware of the fact, and it's trying hard to find solutions and to reduce the amount of the carbon dioxide released to the atmosphere. Now here, bamboo, it offers us a very good alternative as compared to the prevalent construction materials, because unlike the steel and concrete, if we produce bamboo, it rather helps in mitigation of the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Bamboo is essentially made up of carbon, and all that mainly it absorbs from the atmosphere. Now, as far as the strength and the performance is concerned, we can just have comparison that whereas mild steel, it has an ultimate strength of 410 megapascal and say yield strength of 250 megapascal, and concrete, which has very negligible, like no use tensile strength, but it has compressive strength somewhere between 20 megapascal to 40, 45 or 50 megapascal, depending on the grade of the concrete. Now, compared to these two, bamboo offers us a very good alternative in that it has tensile strength of the order of 120 megapascals and the compressive strength of from about 50 to 70 megapascal. But the good point is that whereas the mild steel is extremely heavy, bamboo, it is very light. So if we see from the point of the strength to mass ratio, bamboo, it definitely has an edge. And secondly, unlike timber, bamboo grows in 4 to 5 years. So if we are cultivating bamboo, this does not mean that we are killing the entire tree. Basically, bamboo is a grass, so we cut and it again, the plant replenishes itself eventually. Then bamboo, it does not need very fertile land for cultivation. Tropical climatic conditions like India, they are very much suitable. So having said that, India has a plethora of traditional know-how and technology in the use of bamboo. If we visit tribal belt in say, Bihar, in the northeastern states, in deep South India, we find that our traditionalists, the communities, they have been using bamboo houses and they have been living there. So we all know that the traditional art is well equipped. So the only issue is that if we just rely on the traditional knowledge, then we cannot get the full advantage of the high strength of bamboo, because all the traditional houses or structures, they use single shoot bamboo, and single shoot bamboo, because it has high strengthness ratio, so it underutilizes the complete strength, especially in compression of bamboo. So it buckles before the ultimate compressive stress it's reached. And then jointing is another issue. So if we want to go for say multi-story structures, although the concept of multi-story structures is not in sync with what or with us or the traditional living standards they prescribe low-rise houses, but still if we have to compete with the modern prevalent construction materials, we should, in principle at least, we should prove that yes, bamboo can also go multi-story. So for that purpose, we have been working since 2008, and as part of the PhD thesis of Dr. Diwakar Bhagat, we came out with this kind of arrangement of bamboo. So basically, it not just relies on a single curve, but it unifies N by N comes or N by M comes, so that a cohesive unit is built. So this is very different from just keeping these N by M units. Now here, all these units, they are fully integrated. They are fully integrated, that their behavior is just like a single member, just like imagine we have an RC member or a steel member. So by use of the fibers inside and epoxy, of course, epoxy is not environment friendly, but here our promise is that the use of the those non-environmental constituents is minimal here. And eventually with time, when we have environment friendly epoxy, at least this would usher a new beginning here. So with this type of fabrication, the whole unit acts like a single member. It's not that simply we have put together these bamboos. If we simply put together these bamboos without joining, then we do achieve certain improvement. But if we make them completely unified and monolithic, then what we get is a unified behavior, and this is characterized by strain in a linear fashion right from the top to the bottom. So this gives it a complete composite action. So entire set, each and every bamboo, it does not behave independently now. It behaves as the component of the whole unit. So then these they can be joined together like this with small use of steel for the purpose of jointing. And with this jointing, so here what we are doing is that we are showing a test of the frame structure in various loading conditions, horizontal as well as vertical. So here the testing is under progress. And what we found that the behavior is very much as expected. So it shows very resilient and ductile behavior. Ductility means that the structure can undergo very large deformations, and this is what is expected or preferred for earthquake resistant structures. Especially North India is highly susceptible for earthquakes, and if we are building these structures in the high seismic regions such as the Northeast, the Himalayan regions, then our structures, they should be completely earthquake resistant. So that was the work during our earlier project, which was funded by World Bank under National Agricultural Innovation Project. It completed in 2013, and then we continued, and eventually Dr. Diwakar Bhagat, he completed his PhD in 2017, and after that we started a new project from 2019 under Imprint 2 scheme. So Imprint scheme is basically funded by the Government of India. It stands for Impacting Research and Innovation. So this is under the part 2 of Imprint scheme. So we have Dr. Diwakar Bhagat, OPI, and in addition we have Professor Visalakshi from now Mahindra University. Earlier she was in Bennett University, and startup run by Dr. Sudhakar Bhagat as industrial partner. And under this, our main objective is that we use the fiber reinforced bamboo composite, which was developed by us at IIT Delhi, to show a demonstration that yes, it's a feasible technology. So when we say in terms of the technology readiness level, we say that we want to raise the technological readiness level to number 9. So number 9 means that now it's suitable for practical use. Then we want to do all 3D structural analysis. So basically we are using a traditional material, but we are also doing all the modern computations and testing to make sure that from the stress and the strain point of view, we are on the safe side. And then we also go for selecting the interiors. The interiors are most important. So we are trying to select interiors which are conducive not only for green infrastructure, but they are also conducive for the spiritual growth. So that holistic approach is there. So as a part of this, we are in the process of constructing a prototype house, a small unit measuring about 25 square meters or 250 square feet, single room setup. So I'll just show how we are going. So the project direction is in two components. One, the high capacity requirement, which is from FRBC, and then we are also going for some design for lightly loaded structures. So for the high capacity requirement, we are using the fiber reinforced bamboo composite, and for the lightly loaded structures, we are going for light batten bamboo sections. We'll just show how these look like. So FRBC I have already introduced. So we are basically conceptualizing that we make a single unit like this, and this unit can eventually be expanded both laterally as well as vertically. And for the case of the battened bamboo structures, which are suitable for lightly loaded structures, we are trying to save on the bamboo also. So we are making members like this. So this is the complete structural analysis of our proposed unit, measuring around 250 square feet. So we have done all the computations and made sure that under the worst combination of the loads, including earthquake, the structure is safe. And basically all these units, they can be combined. Then the fabrication of the prototype unit. So this work was achieved after our last 3S conference. So we have all the these FRBC units. They are fabricated in the factory conditions, and they are now delivered at the site. And at the site, we have kept the foundation ready with the reinforcement projecting upwards. And once these FRBC pieces have come, we are now integrating them. So what we can see is that below the plinth level, everything is reinforced concrete. But after that, we have the bamboo members. So this is a frame type construction. So frame type construction is intrinsically earthquake resistant, and then it also offers flexibility that anytime we can do alteration, we can remove a wall, or we can combine. So these flexibility is there. So then using the crane, the top beam elements, they are being lifted, and they are also being integrated. So this is how the integration is done. So steel is minimal steel. It is not all through the member, but it's inserted, say 50 times the bar diameter. This is the minimum embedment. And then this whole joint will be epoxy-created. So epoxy-creating, the advantage is that the joint will be cured in very short time, as early as within 24 hours. So this is a very quick erection practice that in a couple of hours, the entire system can be erected at the site, and then the bonding can be done, and then we have the basic frame ready, like here. So now all the curing of the jointing is done, and the structure is ready. I'll just show some close-ups, and what you can see is that the bars are projecting upwards, so we can have the flexibility of adding another story also. And this is the protection at the bottom. So this is totally sealed, so that there is no ingress of any water from the bottom. So here we are showing some of the reinforcement. So these will be useful when we will be making the roofing. So this is another close-up. So we can see here the bars which are left for the other remaining part. So here the key advantage is that it's extremely environment friendly, speedy construction, factory production of members, so high quality. This is frame structure, much better performance under earthquake wind. Walls are all non-load bearing. So anytime we can do alteration, we can even break down a wall without any kind of endangering, and we can do expansion, alteration, anything. So we have very fast curing of epoxycrete. So within a couple of days, the entire structure is ready. So we don't have to wait too long. For normal concrete, we have to wait for say 28 days for curing to complete. Now the walls and the interiors, they are again most important. So what we are planning is that we make use of geopolymer masonry, which is again environment friendly. It has high early strength. So unlike the traditional concrete, geopolymer concrete, it again matures in very short time, and it basically uses aluminium, silicates of aluminium. So rather than the cementitious materials, so it has faster curing. So it is more resistant. It has higher durability and can set very fast. So this part of the work is being taken care of by the co-PI, Professor Visalakshi. And then we are also planning to use rammed earth. So basically we have a variety of options, and we have 6 walls. So we have decided that we'll use at least 3 different kinds of material. You have seen the geopolymer bricks. Now we'll also make use of rammed earth to make at least 2 walls. And then we'll also use the technology of Dr. S.D. Malik. So Dr. S.D. Malik, he was an invited speaker during the last S3 conference, and he presented the idea of concrete bricks. So we took from there. So 2 walls of our proposed structure would be using concrete. So concrete is very lightweight, and it essentially makes use of cow dung. So this is the technology developed by Dr. S.D. Malik. So roofing, we have options. If we want to go double story, then we should have a solid and very strong roof. So for that, again, we have bamboo epoxycrete option, which we have tested also. Or for light loaded, if we just want to have a simple roof, light loaded simple roof, then we can have this kind of arrangement of bamboos also with some impermeable layer. So that we are working on. So essentially after construction, our structure would somewhat look like this. So the advantage is that all the units, they are expandable in nature, modular. This is modular design. We can go laterally, expand laterally, as well as we can expand vertically, and we can further increase the size of house. So idea is that initially the farmers or the rural gentlemen, they make a small house, and as they get more affordability, they can afford more money, they can expand. So after that, we have also improved on the backend system. So here, instead of the complete solid section, we are using basically 4 bamboo columns. And what we have done is that we have, because individual bamboos, they have very high slenderness ratio, so they need to be tied together, especially at the end. So that is called the battens, so that these 4 bamboos, they behave in a cohesive fashion. And here is the close-up. So we have recently just we have completed this MTech project, and the Viva will be held next week. So this is also successful. And here is a glimpse of our team. So here we have the current MTech student, Manish. He is the former MTech student, Rahul, and he is the major from Army, and he is deputed as the, in the coming semester, he will be the MTech student. So the project is continuing, and being from Army, he is very interested to take these units, environment friendly units, to the border areas. And also now we have Ms. Kayanta. She is a research scholar at the University of Padua, Italy, and she is doing some, she has architectural background, and she is doing basically layout and interiors and those details. So when our structure is ready, so in the next 3 years conference, I would take you, and I would present you the full details. Now, the other aspect is the spiritual side of bamboo. What advantages bamboo offer? Bamboo has been recognized as a sacred plant in the Vedas, and the devotees of Lord Krishna, we have a special respect and love for bamboo, because this was the dearmost part of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is always shown with flute. So other than that, bamboo dwelling, it offers us an opportunity to live in the mode of goodness or Shuddh Sattva. So basically, goodness is a mode which gives us a feeling of peacefulness, relaxed nature, being alert, cool temperament, and being satisfied. So naturally, if we are in this mode, this would lead to our longevity. This would lead to satisfaction and better health also. So traditionally, Vedas, they advocate that we should live, best place to live is village. Village is the best place to live if we want to embrace the mode of goodness. But in city life, this is not possible. But of course, we can try our best that if we adopt a lifestyle with, say, mud floor. Earlier, mud floor used to be there, and even the kitchens, they used to be in mud. And my grandmother, my grandfather, they used to tell that before each cooking, they used to they used to smear or clean the kitchen with a cow dung, and only after that cooking was done. People used to sit on the floor and used to eat in these leaf plates, and before serving they used to recite the prayer thanking the god. And not only this, immediately after cooking, the food was offered to the Supreme Lord as a gesture of love and devotion. So if we adopt this lifestyle, keeping God at the center, environment at the center, then especially we would have a lot of benefits. So in conclusion, so what I have presented is that we can always combine the traditional architecture, traditional art with the modern scientific knowledge system, so that we make a simple and environment friendly built system where we can achieve the mode of goodness, which is simple, sustainable, and which is also conducive for practicing our spirituality. So these are some of the references. So you can always visit my website, and you can download the ongoing as well as the finished thesis and the publications. So we always invite everyone for collaborations. You have any ideas, please share with me through email. And industries, if you want to participate, because right now we are in the process of completing this unit. So if you have any idea, you have any sustainable material, you can just contribute it to this. So our project is working very speedily. So if you as an industry, you a partner, you want to be our industry partner, you are also most welcome. So we are very much eager for collaborations. And with this, I thank the chair and all the dignitaries, all the attendees for being patient. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Bhalla, for your insightful talk. It was a pretty technical talk, but you have made it easier for everyone by incorporating a lot of graphs and also proper description of those. And finally, you have also spoken how our Indian traditional way of living is always good for health and well-being. Thank you once again. So without any delay, I would like to go to the next speaker of today's session, Ms. Sasmita Jabalgadi. She will be speaking on conversion of temples' flower waste into wealth, a way forward to sustainability. Before inviting her, I would like to speak a few words about her. Sasmita Jabalgadi is from ICAR, Indian Institute of Agricultural Research. It's Bangalore. She will present a paper on this topic. I think we are seeing every day there are a lot of flowers used not only in temples but also in marriage, or any convocation or any big functions. And she'll be speaking on how those flower waste can be converted to wealth. So over to Susmita. Ish. Let me check. Is she around? Yes, please unmute.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
am I
are
audible
audible.
now?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Very good morning to all of you. I'm Sushmita from the Department of Floriculture and Landscape Architecture, College of Horticulture, Bengaluru, ICR IHR, Bangalore. Contents of my research or the oral presentation goes like collection of flower waste from the temples and flower market, physiochemical analysis of the compost prepared from flower waste, extraction and quantification of natural pigments and antioxidants, extraction and quantification of natural pigments and antioxidants of waste rose flowers, and extraction and quantification of carotenoids from waste marigold flowers. As we all know, India is a country with diverse culture, heritage, and worshipping is the way of living. So we offer many flower offerings along with coconut, betel vines, and banana as a auspicious offering to God. So major flowers that are offered in religious places are marigold, rose, jasmine, tuberose, chrysanthemum, and hibiscus. So once they gratify their purpose, so these flowers find themselves discarded into rivers, oceans, or garbage or landfills. Therefore, waste from religious places has an exceptional share in the total organic waste. Major sources of flower waste are obviously temples, mosques, wedding halls, unsold flowers, dry flower industry, flower market, flower exhibition, and other religious places. So, coming to temple waste, among different temple waste, flower waste comprises of around 38% among all other flower wastes that are listed in the table, like paper waste, banana waste, coconut waste, cloth waste, plastic waste, and other waste. So next to flower waste, it is banana waste. Coming to the disadvantages caused by this solid waste, these flowers also block the public drainage system. They become the breeding sites for mosquitoes. They attract stray cattle and affect they can also cause air and water pollution. They deteriorate the civic environment. So how we can tackle this flower waste and its improper disposal? So it's important to create awareness among the temple authorities and pilgrims for their proper disposal of waste flowers into environment. Flower waste being a valuable organic waste material, it is now gaining momentum in converting this flower waste into some beneficial or value-added products. So these are the eco-friendly products that we can create out of waste flowers. First one is compost, dye or pigment extraction, vermicomposting, biogas production, biofertilizer, handmade papers, herbal incense sticks, natural holy colors, extraction of essential oils, and art and craft techniques, poultry field, cosmetic products, mosquito repellent. These all can be prepared. And majorly, in my research, I'm focusing on compost preparation and dyes or natural pigment extraction. So as a first objective, I went for collecting the temple waste or in and around Bangalore. As you know, Bangalore is a metropolitan city and it also has a huge population. So as the population grows, the religious places and other function gatherings, everything do increase. So the flower waste, other waste are also accumulated in higher proportion. So these are the photographs that I have taken while collecting the temple waste. This is the flower waste collection from floral markets. During COVID-19 pandemic, it like tons of flowers were getting wasted in the flower market without selling, because there were all the gatherings, all marriages, everything were put a ban on the social gatherings because of COVID-19 spread. That's why most of the flowers were getting wasted. These flower farmers were facing a lot of losses. So timely we went there and we collected the flowers. As you can see in the picture, the truck that we had carried had almost empty. So while coming back, it was almost full. So nearly 2 to 3 tons of flowers we got at a single place. So we have to make use of such market glut or these flower waste, and we can use it into or convert it into value added products and make or utilize them, instead of getting wasted and creating solid waste and creating water pollution. We can convert it into value added products. These are the other horticulture and agriculture waste that I had collected. So my first objective is preparation of compost. As you all know, compost is made by decomposing organic materials into simpler and organic compounds by fungi, earthworms, and detritivores. As you all know, good compost can increase soil fertility, and it also improves soil structure and texture. So my first objective is to bioconvert this floral waste into compost. I have conducted this experiment in ICR IHR Bangalore. As you all know, like we have to use a factorial RCBD for 2 factorial design with so I have taken 8 treatments and 3 replications. This is the general view of compost preparation unit. Coming to treatment details, the factor 1 is waste. W1 includes only flower waste. W2 includes temple waste, that is flowers along with the foliage. The foliage part in the foliage includes tulsi, mango, geranium, moringa leaves, or petal vine leaves. Coming to factor 2, we have used ARCA decomposer. So D1 is kept as such without adding any ARCA decomposer as a control. D2 is like 2.5 kg per ton of decomposer was added, and D3 and D4 5 kg per ton and 7.5 kg per ton was added as per the recommended dose of ARCA decomposer. Next, I have analyzed the physico-chemical analysis of a flower waste based compost. Here, as you can see, I have analyzed the pH, electric conductivity, and nitrogen, carbon, and total this CN ratio. So among all the wastes, W1, that is only flowers, has recorded highest pH, that is 7.23. Other than that, almost all the waste materials have recorded more or less similar pH, that is near neutral to neutral pH. And in case of electric conductivity, again W1, that is only flower waste, has recorded high. Same is the case with the percentage of nitrogen content. In CN ratio, we can see that almost all the flower wastes are less than 20% of CN ratio. So which means these have taken less time for these flower based compost can take less time compared to other waste. Next, it is a primary nutrient analysis of flower waste based compost. So as you can see, it is only flower based compost has a higher nitrogen content and potassium content, and compared to all the waste, it was W4, that is temple waste, along with agriculture waste, has recorded highest content of phosphorus. Next, it is secondary nutrient analysis of flower waste based compost. So secondary nutrients are the calcium, magnesium, and sulfur. As you can see, W4, that is flower waste with agricultural waste, has recorded highest in almost all the three secondary nutrients were found highest in W4, that is floral or temple waste with agricultural waste. Next, it is micronutrient analysis. Iron, manganese, zinc, and copper were analyzed using the standard procedures. So as you can see, iron has almost a higher amount of iron can be found in these all kinds of waste, and manganese was found highest in W3, that is temple waste along with the horticultural waste, and zinc was found highest in, again, temple waste along with the agricultural waste. Copper was found highest in only flower waste. Next is about extraction of pigments and antioxidant. It is about my second objective. So as we all know, natural pigments are the substances that are produced by living organisms that imparts color. So major flower pigments are carotenoids, anthocyanins, and other flavonoids and betalains. So the main advantages of floral dyes are because against synthetic dyes is that they are eco-friendly, easily available, inexpensive, non-carcinogenic, and also have no allergic action on skin and can be easily used in food, beverages, and textile. Flowers being excellent source of natural pigments, they find their use in this food industry as a dietary supplement or food colors. As we all know, carotenoids can be used for poultry feed in order to increase the value of the food or eggs, and natural antioxidants also in the food preserve the quality and improve the shelf life of these food products. If we have added a food color into the food, it also increases the preserving quality or the post harvest life of that or post or shelf life of the food product. Hence, it is necessary to explore the possibility of isolating and coloring pigments from the waste flowers. So my experiment goes like this. We conducted this to study the feasibility of flower waste for the extraction of natural pigments and antioxidants. We all know we can extract the pigments from the fresh flowers, but we were trying to extract the pigments from the temple flowers that are used flowers. So we wanted to know how the color quality and quantity, and how best we can get maximum recovery out of these spent flowers from the temples or any religious places. Again, I conducted this experiment in the Division of Basic Sciences, ICAR IHR Bangalore, and solvent system that I have used are water, methanol, acetone, and hexane. All are food grade solvents that I had ordered. And coming to methodology, I had used in vitro assays like TPPH, FRAP, QPRAC for antioxidant estimation. Instrument that I've used is UV visible spectrophotometer. This table shows the pigments and antioxidant profiling of red color shades of rose. There are different shades or colors in roses. In my first table, I'm going to show the different phenolic profile of different colors of red colored rose. As you can see, C1 refers to crimson red colored rose, C2 refers to dark colored rose, and S1 refers to methanol at 80%, and S2 refers to the solvent, that is methanol 80% along with 0.1% acid, and S3 refers to acetone. So C2, that is the dark red colored flowers recorded higher anthocyanin content, higher QPRAC, higher total phenolic content, higher flavonoid content, and even the antioxidant activity was also found highest in the dark colored or the dark red colored flowers or the roses. And in the solvent system, among solvent system, methanol 80% with 0.1% acid was found best among the 3 solvent systems. Coming to pigment profiling of pink shades of rose. Again, C1 refers to dark pink, C2 refers to dark pink, and C1 refers to light pink. As you can see, dark pink colored roses have higher content of anthocyanin, and antioxidant level was also high in dark colored pink roses, and total phenolic and flavonoid content was also highest in dark pink colored flowers. Here also methanol 80% along with 0.1% acid solvent system was found best for maximum recovery of the contents. Next is the yellow colored shades of rose. Here antioxidant or for polyphenolic content and anthocyanin content was more in case of that is C1 light orange color. We can see significant decrease in the anthocyanin content because in most of the yellow colored flowers, it is carotenoid content must be the a color that is responsible for the yellow color. So that's why anthocyanin content has shown very less amount in this. And solvent system, again in this only methanol 80% was found best to extract total phenolic and FAB content. And for a total flavonoid content, the C2, that is light in light yellow colored rose, it was high, and in S2, that is methanol 80% and 0.1% acid was found more amount of total flavonoid content. Coming to the extraction and quantification of carotenoids from waste marigold flowers, again these flowers look fresh, but these were considered as the waste flowers, and they had been thrown into garbage by unsold flowers because of the low rate they had gotten in the COVID-19 period. And we collected them and we analyzed, and we have also analyzed the spent marigold flowers. So in the table, we can see the carotenoid content of orange marigold and carotenoid contents of yellow marigold. The maximum content was found in O6 sample, that is 15.32 gram per kg of dry petals was found, and lowest content was found in O3 sample O3, which has 12.69 gram per kg of dry petals. And in case of yellow color, it was Y2, that has less amount of carotenoids were found in Y2, and more amount of carotenoids were found in Y1 sample. From this, we can conclude that the aqueous methanol 80% was found best solvent system to extract maximum amount of anthocyanin, and aqueous methanol with acidified solvent was found better for polyphenolics extraction, and anthocyanin content differed significantly among the rose petals. And among the 3 colors like red, pink, and yellow colors, red colored flowers has more anthocyanin content. Similarly, polyphenolics was found significantly high in red and pink colored petals. So from foregoing discussion, it can be concluded that the challenges to utilization of this waste and to minimize the losses that can be fulfilled by utilizing flower waste for useful products like compost and natural dyes can be prepared or extracted and further used. And this study has brought out systematic and scientific ways to convert floral waste to wealth, which is contributing to solid waste management. And we have also studied the feasibility of flower waste for the extraction of natural pigments and antioxidants. And these studies are relevant in view of utilizing the isolated pigments as a potential colorants as a use as they're used in nutraceuticals and antioxidants. From this, we can conclude that the aims of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan and Sustainable Development Goals are addressed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Smita, for your experiment and for taking up this such a beautiful and useful topic and presenting us before us. I think it is evident that every time we offer the flowers to God and later on we see those in garbage, it really does not feel it does not have a good feeling beside all other environmental degradation and all those. So it is definitely a wonderful work you have done. And now I would go for question and answer sessions. Already we have some questions, and I asked the audience to write down their questions in the chat box, and I'll be picking up from there. There are already 2 questions to Professor Valla. Mr. Judhishthira has asked, can it be durable like modern concrete houses? And Ms. Saila has asked, does the bamboo derive from sustainable management of forest? Both are very interesting and crucial question, because people want to use durable method. At the same time, if we are using bamboo should be collected through sustainable way, not in a business mode. So over to you, Professor Valla.
Audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, Sushmita ji. Okay, yeah. Yes. So, can you, ma'am, repeat the questions one by one? I'll answer one by one.
So, first question is asked: can it be durable like modern concrete houses if bamboo is used?
Yes, it's quite durable, because if the bamboo is in the natural environment, then it has very long life. Even if there is rain, and if it's, let's say we are leaving bamboo to undergo the normal breathing, then there is no question of any decay. If we are using seasoned bamboo, all the better. Of course, we have anti-termite treatment also, which can also be done to bamboo. However, our experience shows that some of the Indian species, they have inherent termite resistance. For example, the Dendrocalamus strictus, which we have procured from Assam. We made these structures in 2010, and even after 12 years, there is no trace of any termite over that. So in that sense, especially in the case of the fiber reinforced bamboo composite, we are adding the fiber and the epoxy. That also adds further deterrent. So they are quite durable. Yes. Ma'am, what's the second question?
Second question is that whether those are derived sustainable way from the forest.
See, in the natural communities, when for example, the tribals, when they are living in forest, they maintain everything like an ecosystem. They consider everything as their habitat. Even in the village communities, they follow certain do's and don'ts. They don't even cut a single shoot unnecessarily.
Monica?
So that gives sufficient time for the nature to replenish. So that's in the traditional communities. Now, as far as in the case of the modern system is concerned, so bamboo can be grown by farmers also, and there are several organizations, NGOs, for example, Nisarg Foundation. They are helping the farmers to grow bamboo and get the produce and sell. So definitely this has to be in a way that it's sustainable. But unlike timber, cutting of bamboo does not lead to deforestation. If we are cutting a tree, whole tree is gone. Tree which has taken 20 years to grow, we are using the timber, that tree has gone. But bamboo, it's not the case, because bamboo is only grass. We are not cutting the entire tree, but just the kerms, and then bamboo regrows after some time. Ma'am, what's the next question?
Yes, these are 2 questions for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So we are waiting for other questions. There is, of course, one comment that root cause of all problems is the unsustainable practices followed by human beings. Nature can sustain our needs, but not our greed. So this is just a comment. If there is no question, I want to ask Ms. Salaji my question, that you have been born and raised up far from India, and it seems that still you are highly spiritual and you are practicing Indian way of life. So my question is that what kind of peer pressure you have experienced when you were working for, you were practicing this kind of lifestyle, or you are working for environmental activism? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your question. I guess I'm living in two worlds at the moment. I mean, I have my profession, so obviously I'm an environmentalist, but also, you know, I've been brought, even though I've been brought up and was born in England, I'm very much in tune with my I guess with my Hinduism, with my Hindu roots, with my roots in terms of how I've been brought up. But I am trying to combine the two together now. And I guess I have done, because in terms of how I was being brought up, you know, my grandma, my ma, I would watch her, you know, wake up in the morning and she would touch the ground first, and she would pay obeisances to the ground first, because it's Mother Bhumi which allows us to walk on her, and she would ask for forgiveness, and then she'd go to the window and she'd put her hands together and she'd, you know, she would show gratitude to Surya for allowing for the sun to warm us and to provide us everything that we need. And so in that way I grew up in having this kind of culture of gratitude for nature. But like I said, that versus my day job, I guess, you know, my day job is very theoretical in terms of, you know, I studied those degrees, but then in the last, I guess, 10 years, I've been trying to marry the two together. And so that's why when I did this presentation, it was actually, you know, why am I an environmentalist? Where has it come from? And it's only when I started digging deeper that I realized actually it came from how I've been brought up, and it came from these experiences that I've had. And so I try to bring the two together. And I've been able to do that in my local temple at Bhaktivedanta Manor, which is Hare Krishna temple in just outside of London in Watford. And I've been able to show that, look, you know, as devotees, even as devotees, sometimes we don't even see the connection. I'm sorry, but we don't. You know, we kind of live in a way where we are quite separate. And we just do things in a certain way, but we don't realize where the source is, and we don't have gratitude for the source. And so I guess what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to marry up the two worlds. So when I went to COP26, I went there wearing my interfaith hat. I went there actually as a spiritual person, trying to show, look, why are we doing all this activism? You know, why are we doing it? We're doing it because, not just because we care for the environment, but we actually want to preserve. We care because we know where it comes from. We know where the source is. We know who the source is. We know who the father is, and we have respect for that. So that's, I guess, sometimes the challenges are there, and I'm trying to marry the two worlds together. And only then does my work become fruitful. It becomes more meaningful. It becomes more purposeful. Otherwise, it can just literally just be a 9 to 5. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, that is very encouraging. Is there any other question? Let me read. Yeah, Dr. Nandita Gupta is saying it is natural to use bamboo as constructional material in northeastern regions where they grow. Is it feasible to have this construction material in central India and other places where bamboo does not grow? This is to Professor Valla. Is it possible to implement this bamboo technology in central India or other places where bamboo does not grow? Are you there, Professor Bhalla?
Yes, so it's definitely possible with the modern transport facilities. So if the thing is that we need to industrialize the process, and then bamboo grows in certain regions, so it can of course be transported to other regions. And in fact, there are local species also. So in fact, local species, they grow in almost all regions of India. So again, they can also definitely be used.
Okay, thank you. So there is no more question here. I have a question to Ms. Susmita. Are you there, Susmita?
Yes.
Yeah. So before conducting your study, have you done some review of literature whether this kind of experiment is already done in other parts of India, or somebody is trying to make, incense sticks or something from this vested flower? And this is
Yes.
one. And second is that whether there is a possibility to do some startup or incubator at university or IIT level to make this as a, to take what you are getting to the business level. Thank you.
About your first question, so these kinds of works have been already started, and it's like since 1980s, and there also I have got literature works that these kind of works are started from 1990s only. But in recently we have seen two persons from Kanpur. They have started an industry called Fool for making this incense sticks or incense cones, all that. So we were inspired by their stories as well. So even in our IHR, we have preliminary studies has been already done, and we are about to release our own. We have used our own methodologies to create different kind of incense sticks, and we'll be releasing soon to the public. And again, yeah, this was about first question. And sorry, second question was, I couldn't get you.
How to take up these kind of activities to mass level, to business, or,
Yes,
through startup or
here,
incubator.
yeah, got it. Here in IHR, we have trained so many farmers already, and not only farmers, whoever are interested in business take-ups or startup opportunities for them, IHR is conducting training programs every at least for 6 months once, like that. So from there, we'll be training them and we'll be teaching them the technologies, and we can also there is a buyback system also. Farmers can get a certain subsidy, and they can take up the business, and certain amount of royalty will be given to the institution, and rest will be given to the farmers or the proprietors of the company. So that kind of activities are being done, and yeah, I'm grateful for the same.
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
Do you have any more question here? Yeah, there is another question. What is the shelf life of flower color? This is also for Susmita.
Yes, actually it varies from solvent to solvent. If it is in water, it degrades very easily, especially anthocyanins. So we have seen methanol 80% is giving us a very good shelf life, even in the ordinary condition, not in refrigerated conditions. Even in room temperature also, methanol 80% is giving a very good shelf life.
Okay, great. Is there any other question? Don't see much. So if there is no more question, I will ask one last question to Ms. Sela, and after that we can go for ISS announcement. So Ms. Sela, I want to know, like, when we compare we find kind of true contrast picture between, like in Western and Eastern countries, like Western countries and India. In Western countries, we see everything from outside is very neat and clean. Like there is no, say, garbage system is mentioned very nicely, and still, there are a lot of environmental waste, more consumption of resources, and so on. This is the challenge. Whereas in India, we see that maybe there is less use of resources, or we see people are more spiritual, like people are going and practicing to the market, temple every day, and they are going to the temple every day. They are maintaining more or less better lifestyle, but at the same time, they are not caring about the environmental as such. For example, every temple or at every river ghats, we see heaps of garbage, either plastic or non-plastic. So, how to make this, how to solve this situation? Like challenges are different, and how to go about it. As an environmental activist, how do you think how to address these two different challenges in two different contexts? Thank you.
Sorry, I kind of just missed that little bit that you said. I couldn't quite hear it. So you're saying that in terms of the Western countries and I guess how we conduct ourselves, we have many resources. And are you saying that there's a disconnect?
Yeah,
I guess
I'm saying that Western countries, there are people are more or less like very careful about keeping the environment clean. Say there's a very good garbage system and so on, but they are still using very big amount of resources, big amount of energies in daily lifestyle. Whereas in India, we have other challenge where people are using less resources. They are more or less living spiritual life, but they're not caring about environment. That practice is there, to preserve water, preserve, trees and so on. But we see that if we go to environment, like temple, India has many different temples, including most of the important pilgrim sites. Say Uttarakhand, people go to Rishikesh and they create heaps of garbage over there. So my question is that how these are two different picture. So here in India, people are taking spiritual trip or pilgrim trips, and still they're not caring about the environment. They're throwing the garbage here and there. This is one.
Okay.
Whereas in Western countries, people are not throwing garbage here and there, but they are using too luxurious life, which is also damaging the environment. That is my question. How to deal with such kind of contrast picture? Thank you.
Okay, understood. So again, in terms of my the presentation that I gave, it was talking about, let me give you an analogy, let me give you an example. All right, so for example, if somebody is changing from a meat-based diet to a vegetarian or a vegan diet, okay, there's a motivation, there's a reason why they are changing. Now, if they're changing because of health benefits, so when they reach their optimum health or well-being, they very well could then go back to eating a non-plant-based diet, okay, because they've reached their optimum level of health. So then they go back. And similarly, we have to ourselves understand why we're doing what we're doing. Now, it doesn't matter which country you live in. Okay, if you live in America, in England, in India, wherever you live, it really, if you understand why you're doing it, okay, why are we trying not to throw garbage on the floor? Why are we trying to, rather than recycling, actually let's think about reducing it altogether and not buying anything if we don't need it, because there's a difference between needing and wanting something. So again, it goes back to why we are doing this. Why are we environmentally friendly? It's not enough to be it's not enough to do these things. There has to be a reason why we're doing it. So it does require a little bit more introspectiveness. It does require going in and actually asking yourself why we're doing these kind of things. Even in England, okay, we have this governance, we have these measures, we have these policies, we have this legislation that you know, have to recycle. If you don't recycle, there are some local authorities or municipals where you get fined. So if you put the wrong thing in the wrong bin, if you put a plastic bottle in the wrong bin, which goes to landfill, then you could potentially be fined. Okay, so there are these measures that are put into place. But then if you don't, if that rogue person doesn't have that understanding, they will probably flight it. They'll probably dump the waste somewhere else because they don't care. So even though we have this governance, it goes back to, why are we doing this? Why are we trying to care and protect the natural world? Now, when we had COVID-19, not that it's, you know, gone, but when we had the lockdown in 2020, this is what the government said to us, right? The government said to us that we were only allowed 1 hour a day to walk outside. And I'm sure it was more or less the same elsewhere as well. We could only walk outside for 1 hour. Okay, now where did people go? Did they go and walk to the built up areas? They went to parks. Now, why did they go to parks? Because it was good for their health and well-being. Do you see, already there, you know, the pandemic allowed us to be quite spiritually minded in that way. You know, we needed to connect to something that was greater than us. Yeah, we didn't want to connect to concrete buildings. We didn't want to walk around in that 1 hour that we had around concrete buildings. We wanted to go to nature. Yeah, we wanted to be held by nature. We wanted her to caress us and say it's okay, that it's fine, and this is, you know, don't worry. You know, we went to nature because it helped us in terms of our, I guess, if we felt sad or we felt depressed about what was going on, it gave us something. Yeah, so we know that within us there is this connection that we have with the natural world, but somehow or some way we've forgotten. And it doesn't matter which country we live in, we have forgotten it, and we do need to revive that.
Yes, thank you so much. Now may I invite Dr. Jyotiranjan Beuria to give the announcement about ISS. May I invite Jyotiswara Dasaji?
So thank you all for this excellent set of lectures. It was really enlightening. So I thank all the speakers for their deliberations and masterfully organized, moderated by Professor Nandita Saikia and Divya Patel. So I have a few announcements to make. I'll just share my screen. So these are some of the activities that we're doing. So we have two main sections. So we do outreach programs like we have weekly online seminars on science and spirituality, two annual conferences, this one and one in December called Jigyasa, and certain academic courses we are planning to launch in universities, and some core spiritual training courses like ASPS, and of course some research areas where we're focusing on like discussion on what is mind and matter, discussion on science and philosophy and religion, origin and evolution of life, Vedic cosmology, like that. So starts for last 2 years, we organized 4 international conferences, including this one, and over 100 weekly seminars on science and spirituality. You can all browse our YouTube channel to watch those excellent videos. And ASPS course, this is a core training course for those who are interested to know more about spirituality, how to really live a spiritual life which is simple and sustainable. So we have touched more than 5,000 students and professors, certain MOUs underway. So these are the conferences we do in December called Jigyasa. So this is 3 years, simplicity, spirituality, and sustainability. And this is our YouTube channel. You can visit, and there are many excellent videos. You can take advantage of that. And this is one scheme, membership scheme, if you want to be more connected with Institute for Science and Spirituality and its activities, and you wish to support us in varieties of ways, you can be a formal member of us. You can just visit this link, issdelhi.org/membership. So, and most importantly, if you wish to cultivate these qualities and want to practice a spiritual life, so we are here to help you in a very systematic way, in a very rational way. We'll be discussing this course, Art and Science of Practical Spirituality. This is the level 1. This will be 3 months course, around 3 months. And the qualification to attend it, at least you should be bachelor's in any of the disciplines like science, math, psychology, philosophy, statistics, like that. So we call it 5S because we discuss science spirituality dialogue. We have open question answer sessions. We discuss what is correct behavior from a spiritualist. Spiritual practices like meditation and swadhyaya means study of ancient scriptures. So this is a very holistic package. We call it 5S. If you wish to enroll in this course, please fill this form, issdelhi.org/ASPS. And yeah, this is all I wanted to say. So thank you all for your kind attention. Once again, I really thank all our honored speakers, our moderators for their excellent job. See you for the next session, which is starting at 5 o'clock in the evening, India time.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jyoti Saraprabhu, for the final talk and this announcement. I think we have done a great job. We have listened our eminent speakers. We learned a lot. Some of the topics are very new for us, and some were, of course, familiar. I understand that there are many speakers now, and all of them will be benefited by this seminar we are organizing on behalf of ISS and everyone. And I'm finally thanking you all our presenters, as well as excellent audience who participated from the beginning to end, ask questions, and make the session lively. Thank you all.
So we disperse. Yeah.